Peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. My name is Brother Legend, and I'm here to raise your consciousness. What up, what up? Been a while. The site was down, but it is now returned. While it was down, I didn't want to go live, but we back up. What up, what up? Let me know if y'all could read the questions. They're up there kind of high. Are all black people African? Can love exist amongst hostility? And should we protest for Palestine? 3 questions I wanted to ask the people, job people. What up? All the brothers and sisters, come on in. Tap like if you got some melanin. Tap like if you got some melanin. When we get to 2K likes, we're going to let people up. Tap like, tap like. Peace, Brother Timothy. Tap like, tap like. We're going to let people up here when we get to 2K likes. What if I am yellow, but I identify as what? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. What are you talking about? You just said I am yellow. You just said that. You just said I am yellow. So how do you identify something else if in the first part of that sentence you said you was yellow? That don't make no sense. What up, y'all? Peace and power. Peace, Leisha. What's good, sister? Don't forget, y'all, we got our meeting Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time in the Discord, link in my bio. We're talking about Sunkophobia, talking about a lot of things. Happy Friday, Auntie Gemini. What's going on? Tap like if you got melanin. Share the live with a friend if you got melanin. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, they took you out the oven too soon. You ain't got melanin. Appreciate y'all. So yeah, man, these are some questions I wanted to ask. Wanted to ask the people, maybe switch it up, man. I want us to use our brains a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people seem to be confused about what blackness is. So we could talk about that. I, of course, am going to side with Dr. Chancellor Williams on that one, if y'all want to look it up. Yeah, I think all black people are African. Love can exist amongst hostility. How so? What do you think about the NFL draft? You know what's crazy? I should make a video on that. NFL draft, man. It's just an auction. It's just an auction. Let's call it what it is. Ain't no draft. Ain't no draft. That's our auction. That's our auction. Y'all know what that is. And they make sure the frosted females is nearby to take back the crumbs that they get, you know? What they do is they starve your community and make crumbs look like a meal. And then you get the crumbs from the table and they make sure they women is nearby to take them back to the community that they from. That's what all that is. So y'all are watching a well-greased Ponzi scheme. That's what the NFL draft is. The NFL, by the way, is a non-profit. I don't know if y'all know that. NFL is a non-profit. Thank you, Sister D. What up, what up? Yeah, NFL is a non-profit. So they got special rules, and they're also guaranteed a certain amount of income from the government. So they're guaranteed. They have every year they are guaranteed a certain amount in grants from the U.S. government. Yet players don't have a guaranteed amount in their contracts. Like, should they get sick or hurt themselves or anything like that. So, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of wild. So the owners make sure that they get paid, right? The owners. And so they put black bodies down on the field. What do you call it when black bodies are in the field getting sacrificed for white owners to make money? What do you call that? What do you call it? There's a S. It starts with an S, ends with a Y. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. NFL is just modern day slavery. You know, as much as y'all love watching those black men, young black men, destroy themselves for entertainment, destroy their bodies and destroy their minds. Um, you know, you look at how inhumane the sport is, and it should tell you enough about slavery. You know, slavery, a human being becomes a product, right? So they're treated like products. You know, when they're down there running into each other at full speed, something at full speed. Peace, D. What's going on, sister?
What's up? I just want to say to all the slaves that got bought last night, y'all see y'all had y'all some Wakanda on your arm. You
Mm-hmm.
see your mom that was blocking the one girl out?
Yeah.
He wasn't even responding when she was touching his lap. He was just sitting there like he didn't even feel her touching him.
Right. That's
I don't
crazy.
know. It's a realization that people don't want to have a conversation about, especially when I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you initiated this interracial dating conversation, and everybody else is kind of picking it up and latching onto it. But it's a conversation that we've never really had. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's the craziest thing. And you said this 1,000 times. I think Dr. Chris Wilson says it very well. But it's like we are the docile ones. We're the ones that are going along with the BS. They haven't stopped hitting us. We haven't stopped getting
Mm-hmm.
whipped yet. But we still like, okay, I should go in the room with you. No problem. Like we're agreeing to it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's to a point where I'm just annoyed by it at this point. Just
Yeah,
annoyed.
I hear you. That's part of the detrimental effects of being victims of white supremacy. Is that it gets in our mind, and so when we see it, I've learned what makes me feel better about it is to look at it in others as a symptom of oppression instead of just straight up ignorance, because it is a form of ignorance, of course, but the root cause of that ignorance is not something of their own volition. It's that they've grown up in an environment that is inherently hostile towards them being educated in a way that would empower them. So, uh, you know, being educated in ways that take power from them is what's commonplace. So that's why they're going to look at, certain things a different way. But much love to the brothers and sisters that are on the journey of consciousness, that want to wake up. We're here to reinforce some of those teachings of the elders. Does anyone feel we should not protest for Palestine? If so, why? I feel we should not, because a free Palestine will not free black people. That is why. If you are going to do something that is going to risk your freedom, let that thing that you are doing free yourself. If you are going to risk your freedom for anything while in bondage, it should be for your freedom. So that if you do succeed, you will be free. If you are going to risk your freedom for the freedom of another, that when they are freed, you will still be in bondage, that's a foolish errand. DJ TAGOE, what's going on?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm well, I'm well. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns?
Yeah, 24, um, Ghanaian, um, and he, him.
All right, talk to us, brother.
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, my take is that we should. protests for Palestine, mainly because if we look at things from the standpoint of imperialism and understand that it is a connected system, that all these struggles are connected, that the violence and exploitation, the colonialism and neo-colonialism that Congo, that Sudan, that Black American, African Americans, that we all experience are connected, and that these struggles can't really survive without like folks fighting in each other for each other, like trying to segment these things when they're all connected is more counterintuitive. I think I do understand that putting especially understanding the context of the United States where yo black folk definitely face more of the brunt of police violence and everything, and in that context that should determine a difference in strategy and tactic and everything like that. But at the same time it's like I can't see that these struggles are disconnected in such a way that this series of liberation, that the liberation of one sector that's being accosted by the same enemy of Africans, like it doesn't make sense to not participate, not be involved, and help out, um, and all that type of stuff. Not to mention Palestinian involvement in during the George Floyd protests and teaching folks how to deal with police tactics, like dealing with tear gas, like
Uh-oh. Something happened. Something happened. Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah, I was getting my bad. But like yeah, that's just kind of my thing. It's
okay?
about
No. That's
understanding
a
that
very.
yes, we must oh,
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
oh sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's understanding that yes, we must absolutely fight for ourselves, but also understanding that as Africans, we are connected through that experience of colonialism. We are facing the same enemy, and that one blow to the enemy in their military outposts in the Middle East is a benefit for us in totality. Because it's like that just means they have one less asset to go ahead and mess with us. So that's how I see it. I had to take another call. That's it. Yeah, I'll be back though. But yeah, I appreciate your time.
Oh man, I hate it when y'all do that and leave. All right, you man's listening to all that and he gonna walk off.
Bro, I'm sorry. I know.
Yo,
I'm sorry. I'll be right back. My bad.
damn.
Please hold it. Hold it.
All
Hold it.
right. Well, I guess I'm gonna hold my response because I'm not about to waste my breath. But he done left. Okay. Anyway, what can I say real quick? Because he said a lot of stuff that is typically said when black people talk about Palestine, and I feel like it's just like what do they call that? Survivors. I don't know. It's not survivors remorse. But it's kind of like we see them as us and think that they see the same thing coming back, and I don't think that's the way it actually is. Um, as far as what we do, right? He said we're all connected. Oppression is connected, right? But do you want to cut off the tree of oppression at the root, or do you want to snip some of the leaves on top? Because the leaves are connected to the root, everything is connected. But the root cause and the root, uh, the main thing that keeps Western imperialism alive is oppression of black bodies and black land all over the world. Like, if we could cut off even Israel's resources from the Congo, then that would alleviate the oppression of Palestinian people right there. So, if focusing on us fixes their problem, but focusing on them doesn't fix our problem, because Palestinian people are still more likely than your black behind to get a job. If you both get arrested, a Palestinian man and a black man, when they both have criminal records now, who do you think is still more likely to get a job? It doesn't make sense because now I'm not saying that we're not anti-imperialists. Y'all can bring up that the white T man is oppressing both of us, and that's why we should be on their side. I say the white T man is oppressing both of us, and that's why they need to fight the white T man from their side, and we'll fight it from our side. And we can both work as allies to that end. But at the end of the day, when have they ever spoken up to their buddies and friends in the Middle East about how black people are treated there? they don't do it then, because that's something that I've researched this. You're never going to find where any Palestinians or Arab people wrote a petition for reparations for the Zanji slaves that they had in Palestine. You're not going to, the Ottoman Empire, none of that. The black SW slaves, that they the sisters that they would, do things with in their harems. Um, you're not going to find any reparations for those black people that are still in that region, still at the lower rungs of society. But you'll hear them when they get treated like us from someone they don't like, the West. Then all of a sudden there's cries for allyship, and it's almost like, even with the George Floyd thing, to me it just feels like, they looked at George Floyd and they know they shouldn't be treated like us, but they're like, you know what? They're treating us so bad, man. We feel like y'all inwards. And to me, that's I haven't seen anything beyond that transactional allyship to base another opinion off of. But that's my take on it. I just wanted to rebut. Amir, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Yo, what's up, man? 31, black, African American, and I'm a hemp.
All right, talk to us.
So I'll go down the list here. Are black people African? Certainly. There's a wait. There's this thing called the door of no return in Ghana. If I'm not mistaken, it is Ghana, right? And it's well known. It's even kept as a like a tourist site for anybody around the world to come and visit and say, hey, this is where we ship all the niggas off from. Like, it's still there and they're still profiting off of it. Like, one dude posted a video of it after he visited, and he showed that the floor of that compound or temple or whatever you want to call this place, the floor is actually covered in blood, sweat, tears, and defecation of the slaves. And yo, that's crazy. It's still there. And like the black roots or African roots of all these black people in the diaspora, it can't be denied. And most people, most cultures around the diaspora, they are able to acknowledge it and trace it back. So can love exist amongst hostility? I replied in the comment section. I said yes, and I say yes because love doesn't imply that there will not be any challenges. Any type of love does not imply that there will not be challenges within said relationship. Cool. So should we protest for Palestine? That's a straight up no. That's a straight up no. I'm in full favor of what you just said. Do you address the problem at the root, or do you snip the leaves? No. Snipping the leaves is not gonna cut it. That's not gonna help. That's not gonna solve the problem. Like you said, the entire world, the Arabs included, are profiting off of black slavery. Everybody except for black people is profiting right now. So yeah. That's how I feel about your questions. That's all I got.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to this brother. What's that, D?
I think you're delusional to be at war and trying to love. That's delusion.
Yeah, nah, but I think and that's the thing about the questions, because I'm pretty sure, D, you have more context, but the questions are worded a certain way, and I try to leave it open to interpretation. I think brother was talking more of love in a general concept, and when I meant hostility, I meant the absence of justice more than the presence of like obstacles in a relationship. Like I was talking more to just there not being justice. If there's no justice, then there's no peace. If we have no peace and no justice, how do we have love with those that benefit from that injustice? So
Yeah,
that's a
definitely. I agree. Within that framework, yeah, I definitely agree to what you're saying now. Um, I was gonna say something else. Yeah, I was gonna say, now there's these protests that are springing up
mm,
about Palestine. However, there's multiple African nations again being enslaved, being just straight plundered.
mm,
What are college protests at for them? Like, you don't see
mm-hmm,
nobody like, what I'm saying, just stopping everything, just drop everything now over here in America or wherever. Like, if you even talk to some of our own brothers and sisters here about what's going on in the Congo, it's just like, oh,
mm,
okay, that's very interesting. I'm sorry, but when you say something about Palestine or the people in the UK, or yeah, it's
mm-hmm,
this is all like, to me, it's all linked to like self-hatred, like
mm-hmm.
this ingrained idea that white skin is superior. uh
Um,
it's
can I say something? Because
yeah,
like my yeah, I don't want to interrupt or interject or anything like that, or like be rude in doing so. But I would like to rebut that because in the protests that I have seen, I've been to multiple. I have seen many folks, including personal friends of mine, making the direct link between these struggles and these issues on the African continent with what's happening again in Palestine. I have not. I've like I understand that the main focus right now, or I guess kind of like the big thing now is Palestine, but I've seen many folks start making these connections between, the imperialism that's affecting Palestine through Zionism and all. It's the same imperialism that's affecting Haiti, the same imperialism that's affecting Congo, same imperialism affecting Sudan, and going through the history of how all these things are rooted to Africa. So I don't
All
think
right,
like
but you
these
see,
things are like again. Oh, I'm sorry, but like
you
again, these things are not
left,
disconnected. Yeah. You're right.
you left when
Yeah,
I addressed all of that.
you true.
Cause this is the thing. Like I said, brother just brought it back up.
Hmm.
The when you want to address a problem, do you cut the tree off at the root, or do you snip the leaves on the top of the tree?
Hmm.
Like when you cut the tree off at the root, the whole tree fall, including the leaves. When you chop down the leaves at the top, the root remains the same. Freeing Palestine does not free black people. It does not end Western imperialism. It just ends the suffering of, I think, 2 or 3 million people in a region where Western imperialism wants their land, not their oppression. They just want their land that they're sitting on. No, like there's no uh, beyond that. Like a Palestinian could be my neighbor, and I wouldn't even know because they got the same recessive genetics as other Europeans, some of them. But anyway,
That's not true.
not
Like
not entirely, but primarily they're the Kardashian variety of caucus. But
I.
anyway, um, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is
Hmm.
the leaves are connected to the root, and we can make those connections all day. But are you telling me that ending Palestinian oppression should be just as big a priority if that won't end black oppression or Western imperialism, but ending black oppression, speaking up for Haiti, Congo, like brother said, Sudan, you know, shoot, even West Africa being liberated could be felt across the entire diaspora. Brazil, like black people, specifically if you want to start with the root of black oppression, you got to go to Africa because they're
True.
the most. That's our power base that we don't have access to because of Western imperialism. Israel gets resources from the Congo to oppress
No, yeah,
Palestine
it's
with.
facts. Yeah.
Okay, so then why are we focused on Palestine if we can focus on the Congo and then free both? If we can get a 2-for-1 in Congo, then I need to see young black students getting hogtied and zapped by the police because they about freeing their people in the Congo before I see them talking about they gonna free the Kardashians.
Yeah, because here's the thing. So when you look at the Congo, it's pretty civilized. And they try to show like there's this section or group of people that are being forced to do this. Why aren't the people that have more resources and stuff in the Congo doing more to help free those people and help those people? My thing is this as well. Um, as an American, a melanated American, and our ancestors have done this. We have done all of this fighting and trying to free people and trying to help people and try to get people to understand what's going on. And it's like everyone sides with the Caucasian man. Everybody thinks that that's the side to go on to rather than saying, you know what, we need to try to overthrow these policies, these governments, these false or faulty governments that we have set up in our regions. Like if your government is corrupt, that's what you need to be attacking. So
You
it's kind
didn't
of
give us an introduction. Could you age, race, and pronouns?
my age is 30. Race, I'm melanated. I'm from America.
That's not
And
real. Are you a black person or a white person? Are
I
you?
don't identify as being black. I would say more if anything, but
You said melanated.
I would say I'm a more.
Melanated is black. You know that, right?
I don't identify with black because of the meaning behind black. But if you want to say that, yes.
Melanated. Melanated means black. Melanated is the Greek. Melos is the Greek word for black.
Well, I'm just saying I don't agree with that.
So you're black in Greek, but you're not black in English.
I will say, I mean, if Greek has a different definition for black, then I guess so. But yeah,
No,
So are you of
it's
African
the
descent?
same meaning.
excuse me.
Are you of African descent?
Yeah, like
She's American.
they're saying in the comments, I said I'm a Moor. So if Moor means black, quote unquote black too, then that's what it is. I'm not taking myself away from you guys. I'm just saying that I don't identify with being black
Why not?
because of the meaning behind black. I
But
mean,
you identify with being poor.
we already know that the names that the Caucasian people have given us are not
You
good.
know, Moor is not African, right? Moor is not.
I feel like I'm indigenous to this land. So yeah.
That's not a Moor. Moors aren't indigenous to this land.
Well, that
Yeah.
Moors are indigenous to North Africa. What?
if you look more into what Moors talk about, then you would know they say that they're indigenous to this land. But
I got a
I'm not
feeling
here to
that's some.
I'm not here to talk about all of
conspiracy.
that. I
No,
don't.
yes, you are. That's what we here talking about.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about it, if we can have a real conversation about it, then yeah. But most of the time, when you bring up this, I feel like a lot of our people aren't at a
Our
level.
people. I ain't. Whatever she's talking about.
Okay, well, that's fine. But so yeah, so and I'm a her, she, I guess.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna move on. Guy, or yeah,
Was that
Guy.
so did you have a comment on my points?
You
Or
lost
because
me
I
with the
said that
delusion.
or because I
Like,
said that I
we're
wasn't
going
black.
like
Okay, well
after somebody.
if you look up what black means in the Black Laws Dictionary, like
Oh,
we
what white
always
people think
ask
black
you
means. Okay,
guys.
so that's the problem with a lot of people that don't want to be identified as black is they use the white man's definition for black, and
It goes back far
so
further than that. It goes back
No,
further
no,
than
it don't go back further than Africa. So
yes, it does
no, it
because
doesn't. No, it doesn't. The
even when
English
we were
language
called
don't go back
when we
further
were
than
quote
Africa.
unquote because like someone said in the comments that Moors enslaved white people first. Black was a term for them.
Moors did not enslave white people.
Black was a
That is a
term.
lie. You up here lying.
Okay.
What political project are you building identifying as a Moor? Like what's the point? Like what's
They're actually doing things to, um, like if you guys were, and this is my point. So the Moors are like looking at laws, trying to figure out how to debunk what the quote unquote government tries to tell you or force you to do because you guys are in modern day slavery and you don't even realize it. So they're doing things.
I love that y'all do that. Like the ones that are really like stuck in this like stubbornness is y'all will use the
What's
truth.
stubbornness?
Hold on, y'all will use the truth. And so it's like no one's going to argue with what you just said. We are born in captivity. Okay.
mm-hmm.
So and then it makes everything the BS you about to say after that sound right. But that's not going to work here. This is
Well,
a
Yeah.
useful lie for
I'm not here to
advanced
convert. I'm not
Pan-African.
here to convert anyone. That's not my. That's not.
All right. Y'all paused it down. Oh, okay.
I'm dead.
Well, shout out to everybody that sent Panther Paws. I ain't even put that up here. Stella just knew what time it was. All right. Yeah, we gonna let a teacher teach us. Professor, what's going on, brother?
Oh no, I just wanted to hear
Oh, we
what
lost him.
people talking about. I just wanted to find out when they're going to say that the police ain't going to shoot you when they if you don't identify as black. You know, I just want to see where they're going to say that because they call themselves a Moor, they're going to be looked at different when they walk in the store. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to find out where at do they put the word Moor on their body so people can actually identify them and say, hey, that's not a black person. Leave them alone. That's a fucking Moor. Leave them alone. I just want to find
Yes.
out that part right there. You know, I just really wanted to find that out, you know, because I don't identify as black. So is there going to be a certain universal code or hairstyle that we walk around with to say, I don't identify, so therefore I'm going to be treated different. Therefore, if I don't identify, so my question is, when you don't identify with black in a racist society, therefore you have this what we call it this last place anxiety. So therefore,
Right.
you're trying to put your so are you trying to call yourself more white? That I'm not
Mm.
like them. I
Become
don't,
more
you know,
and
I
more.
don't. No, but then the person says this. Well, but I'm not trying to separate myself from you. I
But
came
he
in here
did.
telling you I'm different from you. Right, I'm different from you, but I'm the same as y'all. You know, I'm a melanated being. So melanated, okay, because of melanin, then what are you? I'm melanated. Leave me alone. I'm melanated. Don't you know everybody has melanin? Everybody has a little percentage. No, but see, I am. Then they call it. I'm the cover color person. I'm indigenous to this land. Oh, so you're
Yup.
saying you're indigenous to here? So screw Africa, right? It's just funny how they move the
Facts.
goalposts throughout the entire conversation. The entire conversation will go to say, okay, well, what about Kemet? Oh, I believe in Kemet. Well, you know, Kemet means land of black, right? No, 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 no. See, we're not black, though. Well, okay, then you're not from Africa. No, because the slave trade didn't happen the way they said, but I believe it happened. All these crazy ass pseudo definitions to try and say you don't want to be black is the dumbest thing I ever heard. My
Yeah.
grandmama told me. Why can't we understand what my grandmama told me that we're never enslaved? Okay, so I'm gonna take your grandma's word for it. Yeah, stop playing with us. These people be playing, but not now there's I agree. You and I agree, brother Legend, about 99.9% of things. There's just small things that we don't. The last one, are all black people African? Um, all melanated people are not African, but all black people are African. I'm gonna put it like that. See, so it's a difference. In other words, uh, your roots all go back to Africa, plain and simple. Can love exist amongst hostility? Man, black love been existing amongst hostility for the longest. Black love, we've always had black love. Everywhere we've been, amongst the hostile things that have been going. I mean, if y'all remember watching how Nat Turner, and I believe this stuff kind of happened. Y'all remember watching Birth of a Nation when my man was saying that they called for your wife and his wife had to get ran through, Gabriel Union had to go get ran through, and my man was still sitting out there waiting to come for her after that. See, I believe that's black love right there.
Yeah.
And I believe things like that happen where they call for your wife and have to do something, and you had to be there to comfort her, and still, even though you know the oppressor had to run up in them, you still loved them and said, "Come on, baby, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to our quarters. This is my wife getting
Yeah.
defiled." And I believe that the anger is what cooked inside of people. So yeah, can love exist amongst hostility? We've been doing it since we've been on this settler colonial project that they call America. Now, the one that I know we have a little friction with is, should we protest for Palestine? That's the kicker. You know, I'm a freedom fighter. That's what I do. I fight against all injustice everywhere. And injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. This is me. I believe, and I don't force anyone to do it either. In other words, if people don't do it, they don't do it. But I'm gonna fight all signs of oppression, because oppression is the root of how we got to where we're at. So for me, I'm gonna fight oppression. I don't think now. Do I think all black people need to mix themselves up in oppression things? Probably not. But as me, as a person that sees how oppression affects the black community, I'm gonna fight. You know, I've marched with Palestinians. I've barbecued with Palestinians. I've had speeches with Palestinians at marches. So for me, I'm gonna fight for oppression and any face that it has. But you know, like I said, to each his own when it really comes down to it.
When do they fight for your community? When do they stand up and fight and liberate your
See,
people? I
so
think the
my
worst
thing is,
thing
I
about
was
I
just
don't
black
about to
people
ask that
is
I
same
don't
question,
I don't
sis.
chat, I
so
don't do things for
humanized. We
reciprocity.
care about
Okay, hold
everybody.
on,
No
hold
one
on.
cares.
I don't
But you
I don't
should, because everyone expects us
no, I
to be
don't.
a voice for them, and they never fight for us.
That's okay. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
but see, my thing is this though. I Your stance on not doing it, I don't judge you for it. And my thing is, and my stance on being a humanitarian and fighting for decent human life, I don't think I should be judged for it in any community,
All right.
because
Yeah.
I
Hold
fight
on.
for.
I'm not
Hold on.
judging
Reason
you.
why? Because I fight. No reason why? Because
But
I
wait.
fight from a black standpoint. No matter what, I fight as a black man in a black person's body and a black person's
But
point of
that's the
view,
problem.
regardless of how it
Black
looks.
people have don't you think black people have enough stuff they be fighting for? Like, we have enough stuff we need to fix in ourselves. How we gonna go and be fighting to fix somebody else's community that wouldn't shit on us to put us out of fire? Like, that's the
I'm not
problem with the
fixing no
black
That's
one's
community
right.
community.
now.
That's right,
We
sis.
want to help.
No, see,
We want,
but
we be
but
ready
hear what
to
you
help
said. You said
everybody
I'm trying to
else.
fix someone's community. I'm not fixing someone's community. I'm fighting oppression.
No. I said we got
Period.
our own stuff to fix. I said we got a lot of stuff as black people that we need to be focused on fixing. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have time to be trying to fix nobody else's community, especially people that wouldn't shit
Okay.
on us if we was
So
on fire.
all right. So my thing is, I
That's
like how
right.
you said the word fire. The fact is, if you allow others to be oppressed, the oppression is gonna turn on us next. So my thing is, I fight all oppression. That's
Now,
just me.
brother, you know the oppression is
Mm-hmm.
already on us. We the number one
Yeah.
target. They're shrapnel.
Facts.
They get hit
Facts.
with shrapnel. It was meant for us.
Again, I fight all forms of oppression. Period. That's why, just like if you're a black LGBTQI plus, I'm gonna fight for that black LGBTQI plus person. If you're
If they
black, I'm
Oh
black,
fighting
wow.
for you.
if they black, I'm
Oppression is
fighting for them
oppression.
too. If they
Exactly.
black, I'm
Oppression is
fighting for them
oppression.
too.
Exactly. And I'm saying oppression is oppression. That's all I'm saying. I'm fighting the oppressors
No, but I don't see
because
that as
because
fighting. I don't
because
see
check it
that
out.
as
So
fighting.
happens is what happens is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What you just mentioned about the black LGBT brothers and sisters and cousins is that like that's in our community.
You're
Those are
breaking
our
up.
people.
Go ahead.
Those are people in our community. That's us. So that's different than outside of our community and whose brothers, sisters, and cousins actually do reap benefits of oppression from our community. Maybe not them themselves, Palestinian people themselves, you know, seeing as how I guess, I don't know, they oppress Palestinian people like there's not enough black people in the region. Like based on based on how it's looking over there.
But even, brother, based on that, the way you're saying it, this is like a basketball tournament. Imagine playing 10 rounds and you tired, and guess who the last round is that you fighting for? Your own people. So now you definitely gonna get beat down because you just spent so much time fighting everybody else's issues and playing against everybody else for everybody else to win. That when it's your turn, now you at the bottom. You tired. I'm sorry. I believe in everybody having levels of liberation and freedom. I don't believe in nobody being oppressed. But for me to keep putting my mouth on other communities when they speak of nothing and stand in silence and unite with others to the benefit of my demise, I'm sorry. They can fight their own battle. They can fight their own shit.
I mean,
Nobody fights for black people.
and that's fine. But like I said,
Nobody fights for black people.
I fight. Like I said, I fight against oppression. And when oppression, no matter how oppression looks, I'm gonna fight against oppression. That's just me.
But see, that's another thing I respect
Regardless.
about what he said too, is
But
because he did say personally that's his choice. That's the journey of life that he's on. You see what I'm saying? Like, and he also sounds like understands that D has every right to feel the way she feel, because the more that those books you be reading, brother, I know she got a reason to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But
yes,
you
know
making that a
that's
personal
why.
thing. My bad. I just wanted to say one last thing. You making that a personal thing is different than him making that a community goal or objective. So that's why after he was finished, I was kind of quiet because I'm like, that is a little different. He kind of said it's his personal thing. You know what I'm saying? He's not even saying he's promoting it for other black people to go ahead and do that. You know, now that's. Should I?
You're correct.
It should be the
You're 100% correct.
Everybody.
I do not tell the entire community.
Hold on, though, Professor. That's just like taking a well-to-do brother outside of the black community and letting him marry a nothing and being like, well, you know, at least she was a little smart. Her family had a little money. That's what you're doing.
No, come on, you can't conflate, sister, queen, sister. You can't conflate. You can't conflate. Hey, hold on, wait. You are now conflating many things.
To somebody else's community.
Again, you are conflating many things at that point. Though. Because and this is just me, and this I.
Oh, you muted, brother. That was a good one, yo. I'm dying inside.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, I know for a fact when it comes to fighting oppression and fighting for the black community, there's not a lot of people that can stand next to me when it comes to what I do for the black community and black spaces all over the world, not just here in San Antonio, but I say all over the world. With ASCAT, we're in Cobra, fighting for reparations. I go to all the different meetings. I help with our African American Archive Museum here in San Antonio. I'm part of Act for SA, which is a accountability police here in San Antonio, especially protecting black people in our community. So I do a lot of things, and so a lot of people will sit there and say, and not you, and I'm not saying you guys, but there are a lot of people going to sit there and say that. But when the siren rings for black people, most of the people that say they'll never do it for nobody else won't even do it for black people either. And so, and half the people who have the loudest voices, and I'm saying not here, half the people that have the loudest voices, FBA, for black people, have never done anything for black people. And that's the truth. So my money is, like I said, behind the app that is in the background. I put my efforts behind black people, not just on this app, but everyday life. So I don't ever ask black people to do things that I would do. And I would never tell black people to do things that I would do. But how I fight is how I fight. It's, like I said, it's personal. I don't judge other black people for not doing it. If other black people don't do it, like my brother said, I understand why black people don't want to lift the finger for no other community. Trust me, us being the most marginalized community ever, I understand that. But in my fight, I fight all oppression, because fighting oppression at no matter at any turn, I believe benefits us in the long run. But that's just what I believe.
You don't want to know what I believe.
So, can I ask the professor a question?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, but let me address.
I want to say
real quick, Creed. Creed, hold on, I got you real
You
quick.
won't let me talk.
Creed is in the comments, but Creed ain't done shit for the black community since the black community gave birth to his ass. So stop it. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to the host. I know I've
Yeah.
been on your platform before, brother.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask the professor a question. It's kind of interesting because do you say you fight for oppression? Well, white women say they're oppressed too. That's the reason why they run the affirmative action. So do you fight for white women too after the history of what white women did, how the white women's lie that got hundreds of black males lynched? Do you fight for white women, oppress white women too?
Man, that shows me that you really don't know who the hell I am when you ask that question.
I just answer the question, sir.
No. I mean,
Just answer the
it's a good
question.
question, but no, man. I don't even think that's an answerable question. Hell no, I don't fight for anyone that's a colonized color, anything, period.
But that's what I'm saying
Right,
because you
we need to
contradict yourself
liberate.
then
Hold on,
because
let
you're
him talk,
saying,
please.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now because you said you fight for oppression. It's very general. So, that's what that's the reason why I asked the question. Because everybody's claiming oppression. So, white women said they're oppressed, you by their own men. So if you say that you fight for oppression, I'm going by what you're saying. That's all.
And that's good. But remember, it's personal, and I get to pick what oppression I get to fight. And if I see a white woman talking about they're not hiring me
Oh,
because I'm a white woman, I'm not about to pick up a sign and go and say, fire this white woman.
Well, why not?
Right, exactly.
Why not?
That's a good question.
What
Because
separates?
the only time I enter is when a black woman enters. When Anna Julia Cooper said when and where I enter, said the black woman is the only one that can say when and where I enter. The entire generation of black people enter. So I don't get no entrance into anything for a white woman. So if it's a black woman saying I need this job, I will pick up a sign and I'll be there day and night because I need her to enter. But for a white woman, nah, I don't need them to enter shit. That's just me.
Well, all right, but what I'm saying is, how do you justify standing up for another group of people that have been complicit in black oppression, albeit not recently? How do you justify? Because even when they're not in Palestine, they've got more privilege in a white supremacist system than you do. So,
Well, because we've
Mhm.
been exploited. We've been exploited by Zionists also.
well,
The root
yeah,
of Zionism, and that's the reason why. It's
yeah, but
because
they're
that
just the
certain oppression.
oppressor of the weak.
Right, but because Zionism has oppressed black people and continue to oppress black people today. So when I stand with Palestinians, I stand up against Zionism that oppresses black people at every turn and every corner. So that's why I stand with oppression, what's going on with the genocide, because that genocide which still goes on in places in Africa that has not been televised the same way it
Right,
has been in Palestine. So that
right.
same genocide, that's
So
what
we
we
should
got to
probably
fight
be over
against.
there. Shouldn't we be
Exactly. But I'm
there?
saying, so yeah, so my thing is, so when I fight oppression with certain aims in it. This fight does benefit us. Y'all might not see it right now, but it does benefit us.
I
But
don't
I'm not gonna
see
tell
fighting
y'all.
oppression as
I'm
a
not,
benefit. It's a repairing of damage. What did Malcolm say? Take it out your back. You
nah,
know
the
what I'm
knife
saying?
out of your back. The knife out of your back. Six.
I was
If you
trying
throw it
not to
in
say the K.
9 inches,
I was trying not to say
I
the
got
K
you.
word. Yeah,
Okay. Well, if you put it in my knife 9 inches and take it out six, it's still up in there,
yeah.
regardless. You got to take it all the way out and let me heal. Period.
And even if you take it out, it's not something that's benefited us. You just took it out. Like you haven't healed the wound.
It's still in your back. You're right. It's still in your back. You're
Right.
100% correct.
Something that would benefit. I look at it as like from 0 to 100. Like I look at anti-imperialism, anti-capitalism, and white supremacy. Anti-racist. Like all those type of actions bring us from negative 100 to 0, but we don't benefit till we're above 0. And so right now,
100%.
I feel
Yep.
like we're still at like negative. We're at negative 99.9. we,
But brother, I have a question. I have a
yeah,
question for you, brother Legend. And this, like I said, we agree on 99.999, and this will probably be the only thing about who we want to fight for. That's that. But that's hearsay. And that's here or there. But what I will say is this though, right? And this is just me. There's a growing knowledge of the black community and what blackness is and how to protect and defend and illustrate blackness, right? But at the same time, there's too many people mouth hustling, saying that they're for the black community, but after they turn this app off, they ain't did shit for the black community.
yeah, you telling me?
Most people's blackness is only alive when they turn on this app. When they
Yeah.
go to work, they ain't saying shit black. When they're in the community, they ain't talking black. The only time they talking black is when they turn this app on and they get to be amongst black people talking about, yeah, we black, we black, we black. But when the biggest picture comes, if you go to their job or go to their community and ask, hey, does this person represent black people? They're like, man, he ain't never said no shit like that. Hey, if people go back and
Professor,
replay some of the stuff that some people go ahead.
Are you saying you should?
white folks do the same thing.
Yeah,
Professor.
that's well, that's true.
See, but I'm not
Yeah, white
I'm
people
not
do the
judging the
same
white folks.
thing. You don't.
See, but why
No,
we
no,
sit
but
but why we sitting on
I'm
white
saying
folks
every.
with the black thing?
No. But you made a
White folks should
statement.
never
I'm
be our
saying,
standard. But you just let white
when
folks
I'm
become our
saying,
standard.
no, I never said that. When I'm saying they
You just
have
said white
people,
folks
other
do the
groups
same
of
thing.
white. Yeah, they do the same thing. They go to work. You won't never know if they're racist or not. But they get
But why
behind
are you
clothes with their
centering
friends.
white people? But why are you centering white
No,
people when we're talking about black people? That's what I'm saying.
but you're making it seem that black folks don't do nothing. That's what you're making this assumption.
No.
You thinking that we just getting
I
on this
said there
app
is a
and we
no.
just pro black on
See,
the app.
you know, so there's this thing, right? Where they get this phrase where it's really dark outside, someone gets a hot bowl of water that and they throw it out, and then it hits a dog, and the hit dog holler. See, if I'm not talking to you, don't holler about it. You see what I'm saying? The whole thing is why you're the only one on the whole talking about, hey brother, what about white people? No, see the thing, I'm not trying to center white people. I'm
I
trying to
never
live in a
said
world that
no. That's not
exists
true. I
and
didn't
exist.
say that. I
I'm
didn't
trying to
say that.
exist where
I didn't say that.
black culture where we could be
You're
black.
putting words in
But
my
you're
mouth.
hollering right now. You talking about brother, why you judging me? What about white people? That's what you just said. You center white people in the middle of
No,
our
I did not say
conversation.
that. I did not say
No,
that.
all right,
Bro,
but
I did not say that.
you just said white people do the same thing. You center white people in a black
Right.
conversation, and
Well,
whiteness,
yeah,
and
that's
we're not
exactly.
trying.
That's what I
I
said.
am not
Yes.
trying to be. Yeah, exactly. You center white people in the middle of our conversation.
I said white people do the
Why?
same thing, and I said other races do the
but
same thing too.
I mean,
You won't
my
never know.
Why
You
are you? But why
hold
would you
on.
center them when I'm talking about black people being active?
I get where
I
he was
mean,
coming from. It just might not have been the best analogy because it does center back on the people we don't like want to discuss when it comes to oppression. But anyway, what I'm saying is that being the same the same thing. Dang, I had another question. Damn, I forgot now. I forgot, man. He said, "What about?" Why did he say, "What about white people?" I just forgot, y'all. I had a question,
Talking
man.
about
no, I never.
centering and
No, I didn't say what about what.
off of putting energy on the black community and focusing on another community.
I forgot what I was about to ask. But it was like speaking more to the point of
You
why
just
he
want to ask me a
why he
question?
said that. Yeah, like speaking more to the point of why he said that instead of the analogy itself. Like, what were you trying to bring out in saying that
Okay,
and
so
asking
what
that
I'm trying
question?
to bring
No,
out
I
is
was saying.
so so.
Wait,
Oh,
not
talking
not
about me or
you,
him?
Professor. I'm talking about him. What
Oh,
was he?
oh,
What
my
were you
bad.
trying
I'm
to
sorry.
bring out in asking that question? Like, what was your purpose?
No, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't really a question. I'm just saying that when he said that he made a statement, he said that we get on black people because it's more like an attack on us, saying that we don't talk black and the jobs and all that stuff. And then we get on this app and then we be all pro-black. And I think that was insulting.
I
Where
think
you have other groups, you have the other race of people. I'm sorry.
I wanted to
I'm just
ask.
saying, it been me.
It's a delay. It's a delay.
Go ahead,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
realized
Go ahead.
that. I was saying, all right. So my question is, you know, what is your advice then, Professor, as far as that? Because I would say, according to Neely Fuller, one should make choices to minimize the amount of oppression that they're under. Like, do things to further minimize the effects of oppression, of systemic oppression. Like you know, are you saying black people should go to their boss right tomorrow or Monday and just be like, you know, this system of capitalism is built by a bunch of Yankees. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
So
No, that's,
to be fair, I believe I can
Oh,
actually.
you asking me that question?
I was asking
no,
Professor
I
that
think he's
question.
asking
Like,
me.
what would
Okay,
his
so
advice be?
no,
But we do
no,
have to
no,
let.
no,
We do
no,
have to let
no,
Neely
no, no,
Fuller
no.
get in.
Yeah, because I
What I'm
want to
saying
know
is,
too. I want to know too.
okay,
That's a good
that's a good
question.
question. No, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this, is that you should take yourself, your whole person everywhere you go. I'm not saying you should go into the job talking about you the press, blah blah. What I'm trying to say is, but people should generally know what you stand for, so they can't bring bullshit your way. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying people should know what you stand for, so they should know that when they come up with some racist stuff, that you're gonna speak out against it. That's what I'm saying. What all I'm trying to say is some people will spit pro-blackness on this app, but they ain't never gave your website anything. They ain't never gave anyone that's black anything. That's what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is pro-black is just not what you could talk on an app. Pro-black is living it everywhere you go and being pro-black everywhere you go. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You brought up FBA like you know
Every
what
day.
they do in
We
their
just can't
personal
stop.
life or what they have
No,
going
I was
on.
bringing up you. I want to bring that. I was actually bringing up you.
No, you said FBA.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
see in the
FBA.
comments. So I was trying to hit that dog.
Did you
That's
did
on purpose.
you did you watch that interview? Did you watch the interview, or you still want to school
Hit that
yourself?
dog.
Did you watch the
What?
interview, or you still want
Again,
to school yourself?
again, you was that dog. When I seen you in the comments, I was trying to hit your ass as hard as I could.
That's
Hey,
all you got to say.
hold
But
on,
you,
hold on. We ain't going to you yet. It ain't your turn yet. It ain't your turn yet. Hold on, guys. Hey, I got some exciting news. Well, y'all can check out b1initiative.org. Link in my bio. Our website is back up. It's been down for the past few days because we're migrating our data to a safer place. It is now in that safer place, and we put up the website so y'all can check it out again. It's back. Donate, donate, donate. $5, whatever. Join our Discord,
I have a
and
question. If I wanted
yeah.
to up my donation some more, because it just came out this month, and I just feel like I just want to do some more. If I wanted to up it without having to resubscribe, can I go in and read and basically make my donation be more, so I don't have to do it twice?
Yeah. If you have a particular number in mind, there's a submission form on the website. But everybody, you could also email contact us at b1initiative.org. That's something we would have to like set up because we do have some people that have like odd amounts, but they usually get in contact with me. So
No, it's
yeah,
just I give
me
$10 a
or
month, and when
D
I seen it,
or
I give
D.
$10 a month, and when I seen the $10 come out, I was like, you know what? I think I want to give more, because I mean, I give enough. I give a lot to different organizations, and I think that this is a little bit more important than some of the other ones. All of them are important, but I think this is just more important. So I just want to give more a month. So I want to make sure
Yeah,
I give, I contribute.
appreciate you, brother. Yeah.
Big bank.
What's that, D?
I told him I'm gonna be riding his back now. Now I know he over there fighting for everybody. He's swinging and punching.
Ah.
I'm on your butt, Professor.
Yo.
Hey, we
You
can.
know
Hey,
you my
we.
friend.
Hey,
You know you
hey,
my
you know
friend, but
we.
I gotta put
Hey,
your feet to the fire.
But
hey,
here's the
then
thing.
let's
Here's
get
the
to
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. Like Garvey and Du Bois, like John Henry Clark said, they was both right. You know. So I forgot what he called it, but sometimes there's two ways to be right, and for that reason, it's okay for Pan Africans to agree on how we get there, as long as we agree on where we're going. You know what I'm saying? So that being the
But
case,
I mean, it's just like the 1972 the Black National Convention. They went under the thing unity without uniformity. I don't have to agree with everything Brother Umar says. I don't have to agree with everything Brother Legend says. I don't have to agree with everything Claude Anderson says. But no matter what, I'm gonna agree with being black and freeing us in that instance. So
right?
my thing is, and thing is, and I won't even voice the things that we don't agree on unless it's up here. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because my thing is, I've been across your life and I said, "Oh, Brother Legend just said that. I don't agree with that." But I don't sit there and come out and tell everybody, "I don't agree with Brother Legend, man. I fucking love this man." But I'm not gonna sit there and tell all these people I don't agree with them. No, because that's not how you roll. That's not how you do things. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn how to start protecting ourselves. Just because that's how people pin you against each other. Oh well, Brother Legend said this. You don't agree with him on that. I don't care about that. See, those are little things. One thing we agree on is liberating our people. And if you agree with liberating our people, I'm gonna fight for you no matter what. In that, hell, I don't even agree with Creed if he's talking about liberating our people, but he's always talking about separating us anyway. But I get out of here. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man.
Oh, now you want to bounce.
Ah,
Feel like you was
yo.
gonna bring some real smoke.
Maybe
Stop.
he can go study that interview.
What interview you talking about?
City Desk, 1963.
Everything, Malcolm X.
Cause I
All right,
don't
hold on.
I
Let
don't
Peace
like to
talk.
talk about a lot of stuff I ain't studied. So,
All right,
so
hold on, hold on. All right, y'all. Don't forget to keep tapping like, y'all. Peace and abundance.
Hey, what's
Give
going
us
on, man? How are
what's
you
going
today?
on. You good,
Thank you.
brother?
Thanks for having me. It was a great conversation with the gentleman. I had a lot of similar points to him. But to answer the questions, are all black people African? No. Can love exist amongst hostility? Yes, love is the most powerful thing in the universe. So that's why it is the thing that can, exist amongst hostility. And should we protest for Palestine? You see, a lot of people look at Palestine and what's going on in Africa as what could happen here in America. And I'm here to tell people that already happened here in America. That's how we got into our position today. And it comes to Palestine, like the gentleman said, the same people who are doing that to them are the same people who did that to us. Those are the same people who did that to us past these 400 years, these how many ever 100 years you want to say our people are on these lands. These are the same people who are doing it to us. So there's a thing for that. In terms of Africa, let's be honest, their lands are getting bought up by foreign interests, right? Those populations of those foreign lands are coming in. Those populations are mixing in with the local population, right? There are blood ties that they're going to be like, there are going to be tribes where their kids don't look 100% like them. They start looking mixed. And then eventually those tribes, bloodlines will look into a totally different phenotype. So eventually you will have people who are similar to Native Americans over there saying, we are the Native Africans to these lands. Because the same thing that's happened over here, we're starting to see it in real time happening over there, right? People don't talk about that, but that's exactly what happened here in the Americas. So we have to start looking at these things from like a different perspective. But
Phenotypical?
Mhm.
Phenotype? Like you think what? Like you think we should
Yeah,
try to
so
preserve our phenotype?
well,
Is that what you said?
let me give you an example, right? So you take a land that is purchased by a foreign government, right? So the foreign government sends its people over there to live and to dwell on the land and stuff like that. Now, you being an indigenous person of that land, you mix in with that particular person. You get a better life and stuff like that. Your child is now
Is it
mixed,
under duress?
huh?
Is it
Oh
under
no, it won't be.
duress that
Oh
we're
no,
mixing?
no, it definitely won't be. Oh, they're gonna wine and dine you. They're gonna treat you nice. They're gonna treat you pretty. You're gonna be, bro. They're gonna treat you nice. They're gonna keep you dolled up. You're not gonna have any political power, but they're gonna keep you in the magazines. They're gonna create a sports league for you. They're gonna create a rap label for you.
So
It's
it's
gonna
under
demonize your children.
coercion.
No, they're gonna demonize their women like they do here, right? Like they
Right,
do
no,
here.
but I'm saying, but that would be coercion then. If you're telling me they're gonna wine and dine, then that would be coercion, another form of manipulation.
That's
You
the same
know,
thing. That's the same thing that
the
went on
carrot
over
and the
here.
stick. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So if the mixing happens under a forced circumstance or manipulation, then that would mean that that environment was immediately hostile.
okay, and that's what we have over here. So that's what I'm saying. The same thing that happened over here is happening over there now, and that's what we're going to be seeing. And then within a couple of decades, if it keeps it up, there are going to be people that if they took a DNA test, that will say that, hey, listen, they're the same people of these tribes. But past 6 generations, where you're no longer intermixing with the indigenous people, but only with the colonizer, that genetic drift, that's different. You become a different person. You're no longer you're tied to it by blood, but you're no longer tied to it by nationality or identity, right? You now look at it like, hey, you have that type of mentality, and that's going to be the thing that we're going to see there within the next couple of years if it keeps going the way that it is, right? And then for us,
Where are you saying we're going to see this?
well, we're going to see that in Africa. We're seeing that in Africa. And what we're going to see in America is this, because what people don't know is they're projecting by 2050. Now, it could be by 2100 that the white tea people may not be as plentiful as they are right now. But the thing about it like this, though, right? If 2050 comes and if 2100 comes and they only make up 10% of the population, but our people are still oppressed, who's to blame now? Who do we look at now? Because we can't blame the same people because they don't exist anymore. But yet we're still finding ourselves in this particular situation where we're not governing ourselves, we're not teaching our children. We don't have communities. There may be a community where a lot of us live, but we don't govern that. We don't have our own political interests and stuff like that. We always have to tether on to other people's political interests. Other people's political interests and ideologies uses us to get particular votes, but it's never for us, or else our people wouldn't be in this position. The type of capital that we provide, bro, we are a $1.6 trillion spending people. If we were ranked as a nation, we would be between 15th and 20th top in the world, right? So that means something. The things that we do with the resources that we have the capabilities and the abilities to build whatever we want, but we just have to.
I mean, that's a little bit different. The reason the black community spends that much is because they don't have access to generational wealth. So
Well,
they
no,
have
no,
to
no.
buy things
But
in
think
order
about
to
that.
live.
If they spent that money on themselves, all that means is you're just transferring energy. Let's get that out of there. That generational wealth could
No,
stay.
but I'm saying that large number gives the idea that black people have an excess of wealth that they could be putting their money towards, and not remembering that a lot of us live paycheck to paycheck and
But that's
don't have wealth beyond that a lot
no,
of the
no.
time.
You're right about that. But the only reason that's the case is because the paycheck that we're paying isn't going towards institutions that is bringing it back to our communities, right? So if every dollar that we spent was coming back into our community, we would see something different. So we're not saying that, we just got it like that. No, but we have enough access to that much capital that if we can now use it to just keep it within
But see,
our system.
that's the thing. When we start to use their capital to destroy their capitalism, like that's not something they're going to allow to continue.
No, see, but
Like that's
but see, when you say that, the only other option is to live like this and continue like it. That's the only other option. Because basically that argument is like, hey, every time that we start to make progress and to step in our power, they're gonna have a problem with that. So we can't really do that. We can't think like that, bro. We can't think like that
no,
because
no, no.
realistically,
I'm saying, are we measuring progress the African way or the European way?
no, neither the American way. Because see, that's the thing. I don't identify as an
American
African.
is the American is
I don't.
the
I don't
post
mean the corporation. I
Roman
don't mean the
fall.
corporation that was established here. I mean the people who are on the lands here for a long time. I'm talking about the culture, the ways of our
You know why the West and the
parents
East
and
think
stuff like that.
differently?
So, I'm sorry.
You know why the West and the East think differently?
Well, the West is
What event caused the West to be with, values like individualism and capitalism and you don't work, you don't eat, Like,
Yeah,
you
that's when
know,
the that's when
what created the shift in mindset between the East and the West?
the Civil War.
Before that, I'm talking. That's it.
No,
That's
no, no,
America.
no, 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 no,
We're
no.
talking about the
I
whole
know. I'm talking
world.
about history now, bro. No, hear
In
me
the
out.
context of the creation of why America has a Latin name.
It really doesn't. What's the Latin name?
The fall of the Roman Empire.
What's the Latin name?
What?
What's the Latin name that America has? Can you give? Hey, educate
America.
me. Educate me. Educate me.
No, the "ca" at the end of America is Latin.
All right. So
The
I
suffix is
definitely
Latin.
I definitely get that. But see, the thing about it is, if you're
But what
looking
I'm
at
saying is the reason it has that Latin last name is because even the founders of America had a infatuation with Rome and Roman
see that
civilization because
that's a
they were once conquered by Rome, right? So
that's a that's a perspective based on a narrative that was projected recently. So I'm not saying that you're wrong, but if you're going through with the stuff like that, I
I'm
definitely
repeating
get
John
that.
Henry Clark from like
Bro,
1990.
I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not saying somebody
Oh,
didn't say this. I'm not saying you're not repeating somebody else's words. I'm
no, but you
giving you
said
my
recently.
original thought.
This is old. This is about as old as I am.
I'm telling you my words, bro. I'm not saying you're not using other person's words, but every word that I use comes from me, from the knowledge and the data that I'm able to ascertain in the real time. I'm really cool for the people who got information, right, and then talked about it. I'm gonna listen to what they said, and they're gonna teach me some things, bro, because I learned things from a lot of people. But I don't take the narrative that they give. I take the data,
I
because
didn't
there's certain
know.
things that they may not know that I
All
know.
right, but
So it's
I didn't even get to my point yet.
oh yeah, go
And
ahead.
I didn't know mentioning that would be so controversial. I thought
It's nothing
that
controversial. I just
common
speak my mind.
knowledge that
Oh
the
yeah, I
West
just speak my
became
mind.
the West that we know today because Rome conquered them at one point and taught them these values because Rome was full of, what we now call Western values. And they instilled it in the neighboring tribes in Europe. And then when they fell apart, each country, France, Rome, Italy, Portugal, Spain, like all of them were states in the United States of Rome. And so when Rome fell apart, they each tried to become their own oppressor. They tried to take on the ways, Britain, all of them. They all have an infatuation with Rome. And so that infatuation has created a culture around violence towards others that the West, we now call America, is built on as well. That's why you see Roman columns in the Lincoln Memorial. Like, that's why you see, like, on the back of your dollar, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have all these, they see Egypt in the context of Rome, y'all. Egypt was once belonged to Romans. So what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, like, this Western American mindset shouldn't be what
It's
Black
not
people should
though. I think
prioritize
to,
because the priorities of Western people has always been anti-Black.
I feel like you're projecting something to me that I'm not really saying or I'm not really suggesting. To be honest with you, like that's just how I feel. And if I'm able to, I would like to explain it a little bit clearer. If you didn't really get like where I was coming from, because when I speak about America, I'm not speaking about the corporation of America, because you're talking about it correctly. I'm not talking about the America that happened after because look it up. Every single state that we have used to be a settlement before it was incorporated, right? This was a recent history change that happened here. So we're not talking about that. When I'm talking about America, I'm talking about the people who lived here for hundreds of years, and the culture that we built from that perspective. So when I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about building for us, about our people. Because what no one here wants to mention is, let's be honest, that's a whole continent over there, but the resources over there were never meant to build up societies or over here. Because if how they tell us is true, if that truly is the motherland, what Black mother doesn't send money to her child? Let's be honest. They have history of that coming to this country, sending money back over to their
The
country.
difference between sending
You
money
don't no stop.
and being
We're not talking
robbed.
about
You know
money.
that,
That's
right?
just the analogy. Don't stick with the analogy. Stick with the energy that we're talking about. Don't get hung up on that.
Brothers being
Right.
robbed. You know that,
Basically,
right?
what we're saying is we haven't gotten
Brothers
any
being robbed, though, right?
resources. We haven't gotten any resources or anything like that from them. Everything that we have here,
Hold on.
we've built for
Yeah, but
ourselves,
brother,
by
can I
ourselves.
come in a little bit? What we supposed
Can y'all give one mic when brother's speaking though, like respectfully?
All right, hold on. Because he said that, mother give money to her children. I'm
No,
saying,
again, you want to spoke it. You want
all right, I'm not sticking on the analogy, but I'm just saying in general, can we agree then?
go. That's not the
Mother,
point. The point. That's not the point. Don't focus on the analogy, bro. You're getting sidetracked. You can
you
nitpick
started
at that,
off on the
bro.
wrong foot.
What you said to the gentleman before, forget the analogy, bro. Go with the energy. What I'm talking about, not specifically money. We're not talking about just dollar coins here. We're talking.
Listen. Okay, I'm gonna mute you. When brother is talking, though, you keep interjecting in the midst of what he's saying, and when the key point that he said was Africa's being robbed right now. So how your mama gonna send you some money when she's got a pew pew to her head?
How did our grandmothers provide us a living when they had the same thing?
So, oh my goodness.
How? But we got it though. But we know where we get our information and our love and our culture from, right? That's the same thing. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
All right, we gotta let
I'll leave it
somebody
at
else
that.
talk too, man. Let
I'll leave it
let
at that.
peace. All right, let's let peace. Mecca, give us a word. Go on, brother.
Well, I think maybe I'll answer the questions first. Are all black people came from Africa? Yeah, Africans. It depends. We Africans believe that all black people all over the world walked off the continent of Africa. That's what we believe. But do you have any proof saying that you germinated in America or Australia or somewhere else? We are willing to go by that too. So it's not anything to bring hostility between us, you know. Can love exist amongst hostility? Well, I don't even know why there should be hostility amongst us because we don't see no hostility from Africa. If we have hostilities against white people and against Arabs, we don't have any hostility against Americans blacks in America. But they say don't call them blacks, call them indigenous Americans or Indian America or African America, or we get confused sometimes. But I hope I don't offend anybody. And what is the last one? When it comes to Palestinians and whether we should be involved in it, we are neutral. We black Africans are neutral. We in the house because we don't feel any type of love from Arabs or Palestinians. We know what they call even the blacks in their communities. They call them abid, which means slaves. So now, and they are heavily oppressed. Even in the Horn of Africa, that's supposed to be African continent, all the indigenous black people, remnants of the ancient Ethiopians that looks very black, they are being marginalized and oppressed by the children of Arabs and other nations like Far East Asia or Southeast India that came over to Africa. They're oppressing the dark-skinned indigenous black Africans that are in. So we don't have any love or any affection for the Arabs, because we know how we've been living together in Africa. So I don't know. We don't have any way to say whether, but black people settled India and China and Japan. So I don't see any reason why they did not settle Americas first before anybody else. So just based on this, I think maybe, but the argument is, did they germinate there or did they walk off the continent of Africa? That's what we're not able to know at this point in time. Yeah. Yes, and our brother talking about whether we ever sent anything to the Americas. I remember during the civil rights years, we have a lot of Pan-African people came from Africa to help out with the civil rights years. And Marcus Garvey, he's the one that moved the greatest civil rights movement in America. He's the one that influenced Malcolm X's father, which inspired Malcolm X and MLK. And a big percentage of Jamaicans, blacks in Jamaica believe that they're Africans. So Jamaicans are really, they are from Nigeria, from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria. At least they believe that. So Marco, what you call it, Marcus Garvey, might have been a gift from Africa for the Americas. He helped out during the civil rights years. He did a big chunk of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know about the solidarity, man.
Yeah. So
But
we don't
I'm
have
mad
any. Yeah.
yeah, I'm mad I missed what you were saying. My phone died, but nah, absolutely, man. That's an important part of our history. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
up to. Are you
And
Jamaican?
no, I am Igbo Nigerian. What my brother talking about what one of our greatest concern today in Africa is race mixture. It's something that we fight in tooth and nail to prevent from happening. We still want to see people like Idi Amin of Uganda. Uh, yeah, we're very, very in demand. We're very, very in need of people like that, people like Ghanaians and Ugandans. That's what we're lacking in Africa today. Black Africa is turning yellow, and it's a big, 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 huge concern for us. It's not because of white people, because our brother talked about maybe it's not going to be that many white people, in 2050, but it's not just white people. We have Asians coming in. We have Arabs especially coming in,
All right.
trying,
Wait,
yeah,
hold on.
trying to mix.
I know a little bit about what you're talking about. I didn't know it was that real, but
Yes, yes,
I don't want you
yes,
to
it's
go through all
terrible.
that again because if y'all say them type of words too much, we're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
I hear what you're saying. Like I didn't know it was. I've seen some videos of some weddings. I can't remember if it was a Nigerian wedding or something, but I do know that there's a chief. There's a European chief. Somewhere was it? I forgot where though.
What?
Yeah, it's a marshmallow man.
You kidding, right? Kidding.
Yeah, but it's true, and because what afflict us the most is that we never go for that mixing. From the beginning, is they're the ones that came to our continent. We never go look for them. They came to and they're coming again, and they're
Yeah.
coming again, and we're trying to stop them, and they're saying that we places. You go to the Horn of Africa, which is Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Somalia, all those places are gone. They're no longer what they're supposed to be. You have like less than 2% of our ancient Ethiopians left over there,
You
and they
see what
are
happened
they
in
are under
Guinea?
heavy. Yes, they are under heavy marginalization. The whole entire North Africa is gone. We only have half of African continental landmass, to contend with today, and they're still fighting and coming in. They're fighting in Sudan, they're fighting in many places, pushing down, even in Mali. I don't know why they don't go to any other landmass except Black Africa, and so we have a very
I
huge.
can answer that. I think it's because the amount of wealth in Africa, and this is the new trick they're doing now to marry in to the wealth. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. It's definitely trying to get connected to all that minerals and stuff like that. Um, and that's the reason why you have other races going over there and trying to marry in to get into the wealth, because Africa, and that's what Marcus Garvey was trying to do, was trying to get that wealth. That's why he created the Black Star Line cargo ships to get some of that wealth and transfer over here in the United States,
Mm.
and so he could share among African people. So but this is what they're doing now. They marry in the wealth and trying to talk like
Yeah.
those just to mimic
Yeah, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
all the
Yeah,
black
but
people over
brother,
there.
it's much different. It's much different this time around because you can get a permit and become a citizen and
Right.
still stay away from us and keep to your people. But the thing is that they're not doing that. What we see is a total destruction of physical attributes of us, because they can be citizens, and still go for the wealth. We don't care about the
Right.
wealth. Our land are making the wealth. Oil are coming up, gold, diamonds, everything is coming. The land is building it up. You can take the wealth, but we don't want the mixing where you bring somebody from you see black children with overly slanted eyes. You see Arabs, case with a Dravidian hair. We're not used to these things. So we are definitely, but we're happy that a lot of people moving from Jamaica and Haiti and America, are now buying houses and trying to help with the
And
problems.
also getting dual citizenship too. A lot of Africans
Yes.
from America and the Caribbean are
That's
getting
our
dual
only
citizenship.
consolation
That's what
from the
that's what
Caribbean and the
I'm
Americas.
working on right now, getting dual citizenship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Caribbean.
we're building a program in B1 Initiative to help brothers and sisters get back over there,
That's
and
right.
even get jobs here that are remote. So that if anybody wants to go, they can. Like, we putting some things
I
together to make
definitely,
it more of a
I definitely pick
resource
that
center.
up.
Yes, sir. That's our only consolation that our people are moving. Even some people moving from Brazil. As long as us, we don't care because eventually we're gonna die off. When we die off, we want our people to go back and sit on our wealth. Let it not be Arabs or Chinese or all these other people. That's what we're saying.
Mm.
Do you see how South Africa looks right now? Oh my God. They really, black people over there is living in ghettos. They living in poverty.
But what we worry about
They
again,
really separate from it's really segregated. Like, it's like United States. Like the white
yes,
side is so beautiful and nice. They got roads, and the other side is so
because
condensed.
because all the like South Africa have less than 10% of Netherlands, over there. South Africa, 60 million population. You go to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, has only 0.4% of the British over there.
Mm.
You cross over to Namibia. Namibia, the population of about 2.45 million people, they have less than 0.4% German over there. But all these people own over 70% of the lands. You see, the thing is that it's not that 0.4% making all these moves. It's their home countries that are supporting. Arabs, they do the same thing too. Germany is supporting the people in Namibia with everything that they need. Netherlands is doing the same thing in South Africa. British is doing the same thing in Zimbabwe. But when it comes to us, our people are now working together. They're not saying, okay, even though that you're not from us or we're not together, but we look like you. Come on, let's work. Well, let's work together, and let me know what you want or how I can compensate you. They say, oh, I'm not you. Oh, you this, you that. I'm gonna knock you out, and all these kind of things. You don't hear that from other groups. You don't hear that from no groups, not even Chinese.
That's true. You're right.
Chinese people in America, all of them, they are spying for the government of China, whether they're born here or they're born anywhere, whether they germinate in Germany, they're all working for the state of China. That's
That's
why.
right. It's true. I
That's
said
why.
the same thing.
Yes,
One of
that's
my
why
one of my
China,
platforms. Yeah.
the secret service of China is more far-reaching. America is more financed. They are more funded. CIA is more funded, but when you're talking about more far-reaching, more widespread, is China, because every citizen is a spy. It doesn't matter where you born them. Even in Jamaica, they spy for the state of China. But our people say, oh, you this. Oh, you're African. Oh, I'm not you. I'm not. Even if you're not me, you can keep quiet about it and do your thing. But you come and put your finger in my eyes. I didn't even ask you whether you me or not. You just see me with accent. You start raging. Oh, I'm not you. Oh, you sandal wearing people. This and that and that and the other. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. And I hope that something has to be done, because one thing about us, like I said before, Nigeria is only the size of California and Nevada, the state of Nevada. But in these two states, we have 2/3 of U.S. population. We almost 230 million people. We're not looking for people. We're not looking for people. When we come into you, or when we say we live our lives on in our house, when in case you want to come home, we're saying that because we believe that you and I are the same. If I'm not here, you stay there. But they look at it like, oh, you want me to come and build Africa the way we built America? That's not the issue. That's not
Who
why.
said that? Somebody said that to you before?
Oh, my brother, if I'm telling you, I'm gonna take over all your time here. If I'm
I
telling you what these
never
people,
heard that. That's hilarious. That did sound.
I'm even about to change my name. I'm even about to change my name because anytime they see my name, they're coming. So yes,
Wow,
it's
they say that
terrible.
a lot. Tia says that's wild.
A lot. Yes.
That's wild.
All division. Everything is division.
But they'll
While other
gladly
people.
stay here and continue to build this because that don't make no sense. You building somewhere, so it's so you would rather stay here and continue to build this than that's just wild. That's a wild thing to say, man. This
I know if they come under attack because the people saying this, they're only about 15% of 40 million black Americans. The other ones are not saying it, but that 15% are saying it. I know if they come under attack, they don't have nothing to fall back on. They don't have nothing
they
to
don't
fall back
talk
on.
like that in person. In person, if they see one black person running down the street, they're not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not black. I'm a Native American." So we all see a black person running, and we all gonna follow. We all gonna start running too. You know what I'm saying? That's that's
Yes.
what I notice about black people is when we're in survival mode, we look at other black people and we all kind of hit like a certain like understanding of
Exactly.
each other. Like we have the
Exactly.
same priorities, right? Okay.
And I tell them, if you think we're antagonistic to you, you don't give us any proof. Ask your own people that visited the continent of Africa. Ask them how they were treated and welcomed in Africa. They will tell you. Don't stay here and push divisive propaganda that is only destructive, for us. You don't need to be us. You really don't need to be us. But we still can work together. We don't need to fight each other, because we have Hispanics. Dominican is more, I don't know if it's against your thing. Dominic is more racist than anybody can be, but they don't come and push their finger in your face and telling you, oh, you this, oh, me, no black, or this and that. They don't do that. It's only our people that are doing this, just to keep the commotion going. I don't understand why. And even our kids that we send to school in America, they're starting to complain. They're feeling the hostility now. They're calling them all kind of names. They're making fun of their accent. Which accent, English is not our first language. We have our local language. If I want to communicate with you guys in my local language, we're not going to be able to communicate. But they
Yeah,
don't
I have to
understand. Yeah.
think of liberation in my oppressor's tongue. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
like
yes.
when you get to a certain level of understanding, that really starts to bother you because that means that you think in terms of how you speak, So even when I think of liberation, I gotta understand that, my how I view things have already been crafted by my oppressor. But
Yeah,
yo, let me go to the next guest.
that's it.
Uh,
Yes, thank you, my brother. I'm going to step down. Thank you so much.
yes,
It's
sir. Yes,
always
sir.
fun, coming
Glad you
around
came
here.
up. Yes, sir. One
Appreciate
love,
it.
bro.
Bye
Peace.
bye.
Creed, what's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Um, I'm in my 30s. I'm a Black American, and you can just call me Creed. Uh,
All right. Good. Talk to us.
well, I came up because of the last guest, one of the last guests, that their perception of the Black identity and the negative things that was put into the black identity to make people not want to be identified as black. Um, the historical um, so the historical events behind the black identity in America is a it's still a new thing, and my bad. Okay.
Huh?
And so what she was saying, my bad, man. It was a lot of stuff I
You
had wanted to say.
stupid.
Don't
But
say that. Don't say that.
but
What's going on? Don't say that. Don't say that on TikTok.
what she was saying is the way y'all responded, I don't feel was really trying to educate her on anything. One thing is, okay, I'll read the first topic. Okay, so are all black people African? Um, I don't push. I don't push to make that. I don't push to say all black people. All, and I see how you put all in it, because some people just put are black people African, but the all black people are African, I don't really agree with that. Um, the black identity, the historical reason behind the black identity in America is different from the black identity in on the continent of Africa. And
Why is
and she,
that?
huh?
Why is that?
Well, we went through different.
A lot of people don't know why that is. They just say it. That's why I asked. Why is it different? It was different in South America too. Why would the same Europeans create different caste systems built on race?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's different. So because
Why is it different?
I never got a chance, and I meant to ask the last guest that was up here. What is the black identity in Africa?
Why is
Because
it different, Creed?
you asking me? I mean, we
Why
went
did
through
you say
different.
it was
Oh,
different?
oh, okay, my bad. I thought, okay, we went through different forms of oppression, and not it wasn't until recently, the music and with the music and the new teachings of
Why
people
did we
being
go through
proud being
different
black.
forms of oppression?
So one of the unique things that happened to the Negroes is when we strive for freedom. Freedom is different from the black people in Africa fighting for freedom. So freedom is different, and because of our unique situation of being here.
Freedom is
So
different. All right, so yeah. Okay, it's different because here in America, black people are a minority. There's a lot more thin lips than there is us. That being the case, in Africa, where thin lipians are the minority, they are going to want to have a different system where it's not just us versus the blacks. We'll now include the mixed people in between the two, so that we'll give them a little bit more, in society, because they look like us. They'll want to be us, but we'll just keep them close enough so that they're loyal to us, and will act on behalf of us in black spaces. And so they create that extra class as a buffer class, between the oppressed and the oppressor
right,
when they're
right.
outnumbered.
And one of the
Bro.
most
So in
one.
America,
Mhm.
we had the blue vein societies that tried to create that buffer class after uh, quote unquote emancipation. But yeah, so after that, they tried. They said, "We're the Blue Vein Society. You can see our veins, and we have blue eyes and straight hair. You know, we pass." And it didn't work because they didn't understand that what I just said. In America, there's no reason yet for them to include other people into their definition, other well, all the way down the chain to us. Like they would do this with Asian people, maybe they might do this like with other races where phenotypically they're close enough, but you know.
So and I say that because hell, there's a few people I'm starting. I used to be on the train of trying to convince people that it was black, uh, but I'm starting to get off that train because if you can only go so far, right? And if you already ain't got the skin color, and you ain't got your mindset ain't there, so but how realistically how much can I go? Um, I used to be on the you black, but then those people get put in position of power to speak over you or speak for you.
Who made
But
that choice to put them in power?
the
Someone rooting for our downfall.
yeah, pretty much.
So then they were successful.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you blame the tool? If if I took a hammer to your windshield, would you blame the hammer or would you blame me? It might have been your hammer.
Well, I try, but I ain't gonna try too long, especially when I'm not gonna try too long. So,
Mm.
I mean, that's just what it is. You could only when you want immediate change, you can only educate so much. It's when you're fighting for an immediate change, you can only educate.
Immediate change. No, when you're fighting for an immediate change, that means you're in despair. That means that you are in what they call survival mode. That's you
Yeah,
thinking in
yeah,
your yeah.
yeah, we are. I hope so.
That's you only thinking about your immediate future. The
I
reason
mean,
why black people think in survival mode is because we're in a hostile environment, and during the institution of slavery, our enslaved ancestors could only think about their survival in terms of today because they didn't know what would happen tomorrow. The way people were treated, they had no clue if there would even be a tomorrow. So they lived one day at a time, and they passed that down, of course, as a culture. And even today, when we talk about Black oppression, we talk about immediate solutions. And I think it's time we start talking generationally on what we can build now that the next generation can pick up.
yeah, well, we immediate solutions is critical. We're on life support right now. Um,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Nah, we was always on life support. We always gonna be on life support.
we ain't gonna always
We
you don't stay
if
on life support so
the
long.
moment you were born into a world with black oppression, you already lost. You should already start building for the next generation. The moment you're born in a world of racism, white supremacy, if you live in that world, then you have already entered a world where the generation before you has failed. So now you have to try. Like until the children are born in a world where black people are free of oppression, then we can start talking about other things.
I'll answer the other questions. Can love exist among hostility? Um,
Hmm?
I think it can. But the environment would be toxic. Some people they argue with each other, and they've been doing it for a long time, and it's just a different type of love. It's not the love.
It's all right. See, you know
No,
what? You answered a lot for the first question. I thought we was going to just do one. Let me go to the next guest because we got people waiting. Rashad, what's going on?
For 60 years, Healing is called West Michigan home. As we continue
Rashad,
to
you here?
community.
He probably not even there. Share DeLeon,
Sure, DeLeon.
Share DeLeon. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Give us your age, your race, and your pronouns.
I'm 46 and I don't understand pronouns because I was born in the 70s. That's some new shit, new age stuff. Pronouns because I was born in the 70s. That's some new shit, new age stuff.
What?
I don't know
It's
pronouns.
feedback.
Sorry. I don't know that stuff.
The Black Show. You gotta turn your mic off. It's not working.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
All right. The Black Show. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can't hear you now. When they fumble over the pronouns question, it'd be so weird to me. Like, you're coming up here for, like, I don't know, an intellectual conversation. I don't know. If you can't understand what a pronoun is, don't come up here, please. If you don't know what a pronoun is, then don't come up here, man. Unless you're African. If you're African and you don't understand what a pronoun is, then that's cool. So that's another thing. I do be letting that slide because they don't have pronouns in Africa. On the Black Show, we waiting on you. Okay. I don't know what's going on. His mic is messing up. All right. Black Women Forever, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 22. My race is black, and you said pronoun she, her.
All right, talk to us.
Yeah, so are all black people African? I believe that once within the diaspora, all black people were African or originated from the continent of Africa, but I believe currently in the times that we are in, I don't think that we should all be considered African.
Why is that?
Conversation about this in another live in regards to African Americans and also black people who are from like the UK or black people who originate or were born in Africa.
Okay.
So the reason why I believe that, because in the discussion that we had in the other live, they stated that not all people are African. We can understand that. Like, I think of people who are African originating or being born in the country of Africa.
Okay, so that's a colonizer's definition.
So even like, for example, my sister, she was not born like in Kenya. She was born in America. I would consider her a Kenyan American. Like, I wouldn't
Right.
consider her
All
fully
right, but
African.
that's using your oppressor's definition of someone's identity. Like, colonizers believe that where you're born is what you are because they would go to other continents and make babies non-consensually and say that their children are from there. So You know, that's because they were taking over land. So they thought where you are, like what land you're from, is who you are. That's very Western thinking.
So I don't believe in like this, the separatist type of, ideology. I just look at all Black people as Black people, regardless of where a person might originate from. Do you consider African Americans as being African, regardless if they weren't necessarily born in Africa?
Yeah, not because, like you said, nationality wise, if an African American is, born in Kenya, then I guess they're Kenyan. Oh no, they're American Kenyan. Did they reverse
For
it?
example, I was born in Kenya. However, I came to the United States when I was like 3 years old, right?
Yeah. So you're a
So,
Kenyan American. There you go.
but here's the thing though, my sister, she only is Kenyan, or I'm sorry, Somali Bantu through the her ethnicity or the culture, but she was born in America. Would you also consider her Kenyan American?
Is she from Kenya?
No, she's not born in Kenya. She was born in America.
Okay, so her culture is Kenyan American, but she, yeah, she could still be Kenyan American to be honest, because her parents could get her a visa, right? Her parents can get her like citizenship.
Hold on, I gotta mute for like 20 minutes. I'll be back.
All right, 20 minutes is a long time. Rashad, are you back yet?
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to us, brother.
Hey, I just wanted to answer the question, man. Are all black people African? Yes, I do agree that all black people are African. If you certain phenotype, you know, we all come from the same melanation. I feel like the divisiveness is the new tribal wars, and I think it's the goal here to unite African people, man, because we're so much better. History shows that we're so much better united. Um, can love exist among hostility? It's if it's hostile, if it's a hostile environment, it's probably not love. It's probably any other word you can use to say you're attached to something, but it can't be love because love can only be present in the ideal situation, I think, and a lot of shit isn't ideal, most definitely. Should we protest for Palestine? And if you're talking about Africans, no, because Africans have a lot of things we could be protesting about that deal with other Africans. That should be our main priority. I think other ideas and other situations and conflicts are used to take away from the plight of black people. I think they're definitely used to our detriment. And like you see the other day, the guy gets, you know what I'm saying, done crazy by the police. Why is he the one? That's the only guy I've seen getting done like that in those protests. Like the only guy. So it's just, look, man, black people don't have any allies in my opinion. I think we're pretty much on our own. So, and it's only throughout history we've taken up for other people, with whatever demographic you want to bring up. Every single one of them has had some type of black person or peoples behind them, but we obviously don't get that in return, not at all. So I think, yeah, Palestine, what's happening is tragic in the most literal term of the word, but black people have a lot going on, especially in, you can say whatever continent you want to say. But yeah,
All right. That's facts. Appreciate you, brother, for spreading gems as always, letting us know some things, all in alignment with the teachings. SGT 305, what's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns. Y'all, I don't know. Maybe something wrong with TikTok. I did. I tried to unmute him. You gotta unmute SGT 305, Sergeant 305. Yo, I can't go on nobody's page. Yo, check out. Check his page out.
Well, can I finish that last question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, what should we protest for Palestine? I feel like we have way too many things to worry about. You know. Um, and one of the things that the people who call themselves allies or self-proclaimed allies, their response when they come to us about the problems that's happening to our community, their response is always something about we need some more legislation, or we need to have use our thoughts and prayers. But when it comes to the people supporting, they want to, use funds for Palestine, they feed them pew pews, and they feed them, uh, you know, uh, I don't know the word for that one, but that's a big clear difference. And so when some people think, when they look at it like, why are you saying these things? Or when people say, why are you saying, like, don't support that, or don't put so much energy in that? Well, people don't realize that when they come to us, they want to go find somebody who's peaceful and loving and forgiving. So we need the same way they feed Ukraine, or it doesn't matter whose side support. If they support Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, or Israel, they are for the Smith and Wesson. So those same people who call themselves allies and push for that, we need the same thing, and we can end what's happening. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. What's going on, D? You want to say something?
I strongly believe just because you have a mic don't mean you should talk. But anyway, Holy Spirit activate. Hello, and welcome in. We're looking for a few.
D, is that directed to me?
Every time. Hit dogs holler. Welcome in, you guys. Make sure that you're tapping the screen and sharing the live. We need to get to 50K, you guys. ASAPPP, like the check that came in that a lot of y'all are going to jail for. Anyways, make sure that you subscribe here at Brother Legends Live on TikTok, YouTube, and also follow him on Twitter. We need y'all to join B1 Initiative so y'all can learn to be great. We're trying to elevate y'all. We got opportunities that we need help with. Are you ready to be a part of history? Are you about to make America black again? Let's make it. Look at Brother Legend's face. At the end of the day, we're looking for people that are ready to actually make something for the future, for our children, for the Black children, the African children. And we're building greatness, y'all. So join b1initiative.org so you can be a part of the future and show our children something that elevates them in society. You're actually going to be making history. All right. While we're doing that, if you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, but you got some dollars, make sure that you donate here at Bring Down Babylon or subscribe where you can be part of the family. Hey, ching ching adds up quick. Send $1, send $2, send $10. Hell, send 1,000. It's Friday. Y'all all got paid, and it's 96 people in here. So if you all send $1, hey, we're going to hit some goals today. Also, you guys, after you've done being over here and you've subscribed, Brother Legend does have a TikTok shop on here. You can be part of Sankopedia's website and get you an outfit. We got the shirts, we got the cups. Hell, we've got so much different items that you can be a part of the family. Join us and be great. Now, before I'm done, let me say this. I don't know why y'all want to hop in my comment section, but I'm gonna tell you like this, Mr. Creed. Mind your manners, P's and Q's, P's and Q's. But until then, y'all need to tap up. I don't know what you're waiting on, but the chat can go to jail. Anything I forget, Brother Legend?
Nope, that's all. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Can we get the website up, Timothy? People don't know that you can get merch. Y'all, we have merch.
Yeah, we
Brother
definitely
Legend,
got merch.
yeah, Brother Legend needs to speak more on Sankopedia and how and what's going on. But y'all need to become a part of the family, become part of history. You're making history for Black African people.
Yeah, when we first came up with the idea for Sankopedia, a free Afrocentric online encyclopedia, I didn't realize how many ways it could be utilized. They are not playing when they say knowledge is power. Having a website built from an Afrocentric perspective, as comprehensive as Wikipedia, but built from an African viewpoint, is very much needed. And I'm starting to see that in the way people are joining the organization and emailing us, and like there's a lot of excitement from a lot of scholarly places too, to have this done right, just so that it's a good resource for people that want to hear Black people's perspective on things. Not just Black history, but Black people's perspective on like world history, on everything going on. Sometimes we forget our ancestors had, their version of history too. We've been taught Eurocentrism and told it was unbiased. And that's a lie. Wikipedia is biased. But I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, so as far as you gonna say something, D?
I was laughing because somebody tried to bring a resource with Wikipedia up the other day to talk about Black supremacy. And somebody has actually created a definition on Wikipedia.
Right. And see, we would have that same definition, and like we'll have that same word, I'm sorry, without the definition, but use that definition from an Afrocentric perspective, where it's something that's only brought up when Black people talk about white supremacy. That's the only time we're talking about Black. If Black supremacy were a problem, then they wouldn't just talk about it over us. They would talk about it constantly. Like they would, do something about it. Um, but anyway, we could talk about, uh, different topics too, like emancipation is one of the definitions that's going to mean something different on the website, because to emancipate something means basically to give something up. So emancipation means that the owner of an object gave it up to just anyone that wants it can have it. Like when you put something out on the front lawn, that's what emancipation means. And so to even call ourselves emancipated is to acknowledge that criminal institution of slavery that considered us property. So that's a definition that we're going to use from Malcolm X's last speech before he was unalived. He referenced that what I just said. So that's going to be our definition of emancipation: an African definition, So we might have other people's definition, but we just want to list that in Sankofapedia. This is the type of knowledge I'm talking about.
You know what's funny? Is that you don't realize how big something is until you realize that it don't exist.
Mm.
And that's something like there's a lot of things that we don't realize we're the first at. There's so many different goals that you keep hearing. The black people are the first at this, first at that. So I think like people don't realize how this, once it's like fully out there, people gonna be like, wait a minute. This has never been a thing. He's gonna shake a lot of boots. You have a lot of YTs running over there, scrambling and scrambling. What? Well, that's not what that means.
Right.
I don't understand.
You see, that's why anyone can use Sankofapedia. Anyone can edit an article on Sankofapedia, but you got to be a member of B1 Initiative. In order to be a member of B1 Initiative, you got to be of African descent. And we're talking land, history, and culture. You see what I'm saying? The Garvey way. So that means that's like how we're able to make sure that, we keep some balance there, some control over that, because we don't want them infiltrating, But a website like Sankofapedia doesn't discriminate. We do. We discriminate. I'm playing. No, we don't discriminate. You could be any race, but you gotta be African.
You're gonna start something there. You're gonna start something.
You can be any race, but you gotta be African. You gotta be of African descent, and we'll define African. So
Okay, so what is the direct link? Because I know you have you also have a TikTok shop. So is the shop on your page, or is it on the for the shop page? So they can get
yeah, the shop is on B1 Initiative.
okay, so it's on the B1 Initiative page.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need y'all to drop a tub in the chat if y'all are here, because y'all being real quiet. Are you here? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Leisha, where you at? I need a tub. Y'all quiet. It's Friday. It's Friday. All right, Miss Stella. We know you here. You always Miss Stella gonna always be 10 toes down. There
Oh
goes
yeah, I'm supposed to
Swan.
make Timothy
Okay.
mod.
What'd you say?
No, I forgot about Timothy.
There go Timothy. There go Purple Queen. Thank you. Yes, we need to tuck because we bathe around here.
We sure
I
do.
wanted to comment. I wanted to comment on the should we protest for Palestine.
All right. Could
Um,
you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
um, my age is 57. My race, I consider myself indigenous. What else did you ask?
And your pronouns?
No, I mean, I'm a male
All right.
man.
Talk to us.
All right. As far as protesting for Palestine, it's a great humanitarian idea, but we have some severe humanitarian, situations in our own community that we need to address. And I think before we go, joining up with anybody anymore and helping everybody, I think we need to galvanize ourselves and see if some people will help us. It's time for people to help us, as far as I'm concerned. That's my personal, humble opinion on the Palestine situation.
Now, when you say us, do you mean indigenous people?
Um, yeah, I mean, us, I mean, black people, I consider um, everybody that, grew up in America, and I consider them all indigenous. You know, I mean, it's up to everybody to, really decide for themselves, of course, right?
Why would they want to
So,
label themselves indigenous?
I'm not sure. Perhaps they do the research and, maybe make a choice that that's what they want to do. I mean, I did. I made a personal choice to say that, do that, and describe myself as such. So they would have to examine things for themselves. I don't know what's going on in their lives, what they do,
Hmm.
you know?
I mean, to be indigenous means to be here before the colonizer got here. And that's
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. I believe my people were here before the colonizer got here.
So why would
Yeah.
you want to center your identity around when the colonizer found you?
Fine. Okay. Switch my identity. First of all, the identity that the colonizer gave me, I consider inaccurate and I don't trust it. Okay. Uh,
So that would be indigenous.
so as far as
Like
yeah,
indigenous.
so I
He
feel
gave you
I'm indigenous.
indigenous.
Now, as far as like um,
He
what did
gave
you
you
say? Turn
indigenous.
him.
Indigenous is his
Who gave
word.
me indigenous? Okay,
The
well, I mean,
colonizer.
out of the dictionary, yes, of course, right. I
Because
mean,
you
yeah,
because
most of the words that I know are out of the Webster's dictionary, so yeah, it would probably be a colonizer's word. But
so when you
until
talk
I
about, all right, so for the first
develop
question,
another, huh?
so you're saying that um
I'm
that
saying that my people were here before the colonizer got here. I believe that.
but I
I
mean,
know that they were here when the
you're
colon.
saying they were the
I
first
know that they
people
were
here
here.
before the colonizer got here?
I'm not saying that my people, the indigenous people, the people that were so-called found, as you referred to, um, yeah, they were here before the colonizer.
And so do you think any of them came during the transatlantic slave trade?
Yeah, I believe part of that happened, but I don't believe that you could trust uh any of what they have told us about our history. So,
You think they told us
as
about
far as the
slavery?
transatlantic slave trade and the
Did you learn
documents
about
that support
slavery
it,
from
what
white
have
people?
I learned about slavery from both, right? They taught it in school and social studies and what have you. Um, and I learned it from black people, Muslims, brothers, that I come in town contact with that, kind of on the same travels. You talk about it. You talk
I
about
learned it
practically
from
everything.
I learned it from my elders.
Oh
They
yeah.
told me about
Yeah,
it
we
way
learn a lot
before I
from it.
heard a white person even talk about it. By the time they taught me that, I don't think I was in the second grade when we first learned about racism. And
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't care nothing about that because I had already seen
Neither did
pictures
I
of
at that time. Yeah. You're a
strange
child.
fruit. I didn't seen all type of stuff. Like my parents really had records and like showed me stuff, but okay.
I mean, I'm not forcing my ideology on anyone, but until I find a more definitive description of myself,
So African ain't enough.
I mean, I could make
What's wrong
I
with
could
just being
change it
African?
um because I don't believe life began in Africa. There's too
Why
much
not?
evidence because life if Africa was the motherland, it would have the natural resources to sustain life, fresh water, crops. All of the crops that are in Africa were transplanted from here to there.
What,
Most of them, almost 600. Yeah,
sir?
what you
Sir,
guys
where
need
did
to
you go to
do?
school?
Yes, yes. All of the crops that were grown here
So, Mr.
were
Michael,
transported. Yes,
we've had a conversation before, and you said you're
yes.
indigenous. I said, well, they're somewhat of a protected class of people. So, I was asking you, why were you so concerned with Black African business when you weren't Black African? You remember that
Um, he
conversation?
meant he mentioned black Africans, and
Uh-huh.
another woman had said that she was an African, and argued that why would I call myself indigenous, and that, and I'm like, well, why would you call yourself an African? African's a Roman name. I mean,
But I'm asking you in this conversation. When you said you were
hmm?
indigenous, I said there are certain levels of protection that that community has. So when you go over there, when you go on the reservation, like, why would you be worried about Black Americans or African Americans or African people when you go on your reservation? It's so much stuff to fix.
um, I'm not really overly concerned about African. I don't know why you pushing that, because I'm not talking about African people. I'm talking about
I'm
indigenous
asking you
people.
about your
He asked
indigenous
me what.
community. That's
I think we get
what I
stuck
just
on this a
asked you.
lot because he asked me what I consider myself. I said indigenous. He got
Yeah, and
stuck on that,
I
and
asked
he
you,
asked me,
sir, calm down. I asked you about your indigenous community. I asked you, like, why don't you go on the reservation and help fix a lot of the issues they're having over there? Do you understand? Miss Stella said no more.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, appreciate you, Sister Stella. Thank you for the gifts. We gonna move on. Shantae Rose, what's going on, sister?
How you doing, brother legend? I've been on here before. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
the diva, Black Swan. I love all y'all.
Much love, much love. Welcome. Go ahead, talk to us.
Um, all black people African? Yes, that's just how I see it. Um, can love exist amongst hostility? I'm gonna say no. It can't because the hostility wins every time. You just look like a fool loving while other people being hostile to you.
Mm.
Um, should we protest for Palestine? I don't really know how to answer that because from um from the little protesting I've been doing since that has occurred, the feedback that I've been getting have been racism from these Palestinians. Like, I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but I think people should help where they feel that
That's
it's
wild.
people need to be helped, but uh what I'm finding out is that they don't like us. That's just from my personal experience. I don't know, everybody probably ain't experienced the same thing, so I can't. So I'm gonna say, yeah, you should, but in this situation, um, you might get some racist feedback.
What kind of feedback are you getting, and why would you invite other Black people into that feedback? But, but skip the second question. Just what kind of feedback were you getting?
Well, when all of this first began, I really was, very adamant about protesting and making awareness, but not only for Palestine, for the Congo and other places too, Haiti. But every time I would um, protest, other people who claimed to be Palestinian was like, we don't need anything from you, black, like just a whole bunch of racist slurs is what I experienced.
That's
Ain't
wild,
no
bro.
way.
Like they over here dodging pew pews and boom booms, and they got time to still tell you they don't need your black.
Yeah, like
Yo,
I'm
that's
surprised.
crazy.
I'm surprised that
They
nobody has
hospitals
heard
getting
about
blown.
this because I'm surprised that nobody has heard about it because it's not only me who has experienced that. It's been people who have made videos and they're talking about their experience as well. And that's the feedback that I've been getting. And it's crazy to me because I'm seeing videos on Twitter, I mean X, um of
Yeah.
all the atrocities that is happening to them, and when you're speaking on it and they realize that you are black, they have a problem with you. I'm like, so in the middle of you going through what you going through, you got time to be racist? Okay.
Mhm. Wow.
Gotta worry about me. You ain't got to worry about me.
I mean, that's how I feel. I'm trying not, I'm trying to really just be conscious of the words that I'm using on y'all platform.
Yeah. Well.
Cause I don't want to spread no hate. So that's why I said it's a personal experience that I went through, but other people I know have also encountered it.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is, if you're gonna put your freedom on the line,
And we were sending, and it's a group where I live. We were sending, we was boxing things up like water, toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, and things like that. Sending it over there. And then you get this kind of feedback. So I was very disheartened. When it happened. It happened once or twice. You let that go, but when it get in them double digits, you like, oh, okay. So wow.
yeah,
Wish I
it's
would. I
still
wish
going.
I would.
Go ahead, D.
No, I'm just saying I wish I would. We have so many issues in our community, so many different things that we're being attacked on so many different ends by to distract us and keep us complacent that I don't have time to be focused on nobody else's community. And that might sound evil, heartless, selfish, but it's time for black people to be selfish because
Yeah,
every
and I
single
agree with
we
you
never are.
100% because I mean, I wish your voice was in my head before this, before I just embarrassed myself on Brother Legend platform. But that's what I went through.
Feel
Yep,
good
I
about
wish I would have had that advice though
you.
because I
You was
felt really
a good
stupid. I
heart
felt
is.
like I was helping out the Klan. Like I was,
Ooh.
knitting their hoods and robes or some shit. That's how I felt. Like, damn.
I think black people are the only group of people that constantly kind of wear their heart on the sleeves. And we know what it feels like to not have and to be the forgotten or to be the less than. So much so it's to our detriment that we reach out and we try to help other people. So I don't think
Yeah.
you
And I
know.
think it's because we still going through it. It's just not the way that they going through it. It's more of a it's more of a micro war over here against black people. But it does make you empathetic when you see other groups going through, discrimination or racism. It makes you want to stand by them to let them know like, hey, we over here, but when they telling you what I've been told, like, you like, okay, I'm just gonna stay over here and deuces.
That's wild.
Because we is like, I don't see nobody going hard for Haiti. I don't see nobody going hard for the Congo. Like, I don't see nobody doing none of that. Everybody focused over there.
Hmm. Yeah. The Congo tried to sue. They tried to do a petition, and the court just turned it down. It was like, we're not even gonna talk about this. It's like
Yeah.
we ain't gonna give Black Americans reparations. We ain't thinking about them at all. Like, just complete no.
We the
And they,
only group of people who still ain't got a hate crime bill. Everybody else got a hate crime bill except for us. And we've been through the worst atrocities, and that is including the Japanese and Chinese and Indians. Like we have been through the worst of it because ours have been continual, and it's still happening today. But don't let me get up here and start preaching. I just had to come up here. I see you changed the topic. I wanted to show y'all love.
appreciate you, sister. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that breakdown.
Right.
Appreciate you coming up. And
He brother legend, but every time Africa the Bunk come up, he sound like he rolling in rocks.
you do. All right. I'm gonna go to the next guest. One Will, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hi, sir. Should
Hey,
I?
how you doing, buddy?
One Will.
How you doing, buddy? I'm good, and you?
Hey, I'm good. Give us your age, your race, your pronouns.
21. He, him,
And your race.
me, race.
Yes. What is your race?
The only one race, brother. The beginning of all races, brother. The one and only race, brother. You see when you look in the mirror, brother?
Uh-huh.
That race, brother. Yes. Yes, brother. Yes.
So,
Like you got that white woman on your page.
uh-oh.
What
Who?
happened, brother?
Uh-uh. What is your significant other the same one race as you?
What significant other, brother?
Your I don't know.
It's just a video, I guess. I don't know. It's a
Oh
white woman.
wow.
It's the only video he got, brother. Like it's the only video he got. Is a
Yeah,
white woman.
that's my other account. My other account got banned, brother.
I don't know what you just said.
Oh, my other account got reported, brother. I got reported, brother, because they got mad, brother.
But are you a black man or are you a human? Is that what you're trying to say? You a human? That's what I'm trying to get to the. I don't know. Is the accent real? Where he from?
I don't know. He sound like he one of the people that put a dot in their phone. Let me shut up.
Uh, possibly. All right.
He sound like he be the one ching 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 ching. Welcome, hey brother. How you going? What you want to buy today in the store? Hurry up and buy.
Wait, they said I sound Arab. That's crazy.
All right. So, um, are you a black man?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, talk to us.
How's everybody doing in the panel? Everybody doing good today?
Yes, we're doing great. Lovely.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. You want me to answer the questions?
Hmm.
Black
Back to
people, Africa.
change.
So when we say black people, do we mean all the black people scattered around the world, or like do it have to be specific for a country or a specific continent?
I leave it up to interpretation. What's your definition of black people?
What's my definition of black people?
Yeah, who are black people?
I wouldn't know the definition because English is not my language,
I
so I
see.
wouldn't want to get people in the wrong thing.
Mm. Where you from? Who muted him?
Wait, who? Which one? One Wheel or Ronald?
One wheel was talking.
Oh, I don't know. He might have muted himself. I muted Ronald or Ronaldo.
Uh, I don't know what's going on right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, okay. Like I said, English is not my first
Where you
language. I
from?
wouldn't want to misguide people with the definition of the word black.
Where are you from?
I'm from here, this planet. If you want me to be specific, the continent of Africa, as they call it today. If
Okay.
more
And what
specifically,
country?
where I was born and raised, South Africa.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what South African indigenous society are you from?
I'm Dwana.
Okay.
Yes, but
All right. So, all right. Sound like a black man to me. You know, I hear the whole "We Are the World" thing. Tia says you actually fake. He's gotta be lying. Somebody said he's lying. One wheel, nobody believes you.
they say he doesn't sound SA. Who doesn't sound SA? What do you
Change
mean?
his
You're
voice.
not rolling your R's. You guys are. They be like,
Hey bana bare hey bana bato wema se pane. Le rake mo Joanna. Hey la dalla man.
"Is that South African, y'all?"
Yeah, kiti ke mo Joanna. Hey bana. Hey la dalla man.
We put no spells over this live.
Yo.
Nah, don't do that, D. Don't do that. Don't do that. He blessing the live, even if it's a curse.
Oh Lord.
That money.
Now you gotta put some blessings in the air.
Itu bua se pare kepe wena. Ma, so man for tech. Dewey.
But you gonna answer the questions though?
Am I gonna answer the questions? Are all black people African? I wanna ask you a question real quick before I answer that one, cause I don't know the definition of black. What's the definition of black in your terms?
Black is a people that share an African ancestry, or an African phenotype, but most importantly, an African mindset.
African mindset. Okay.
Yeah, the mindset is what's most important. If they identify full time, all the time, as black or an African, or black in this case, then that is a black person. Not the people that are lying. The people that are lying. They're not one of us. They're just lying. But the people that full time, all the time, identify as black, those are the people.
Okay. Are all black people African? In today's day and age, yeah. I'm gonna skip that one. Can love exist among hostility? Can love exist amongst hostility? What does hostility mean?
An environment inconducive to your health and well-being.
Hostility. I don't know how to answer that question. Like, can you like explain it one more time, please?
Can there be love in the midst of war?
Can there be love in the midst of sheesh?
Can you love someone that wants to unalive you, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Sheesh. Yeah, nah, hey. You see, yeah, in today's day and age, I mean, there's been a lot that's happened through history. A lot, you already know. And sheesh. Yeah, it's mixy. It's mixy. Let me say it's mixy.
Okay. Um,
Should we protest for Palestine? I mean, there's a lot going on all over the world. I think that's just like, I don't know. I mean, there's been wars going all over Africa, other countries also. So
mhm.
it's a lot going on, man. There's a lot that needs to happen. There's a lot that needs to happen.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us know that one, Will. Let me go to the next guest.
No problem, bro.
Ronaldo, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hi, sir. My age is 29. I'm black and a male. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you of a nice job. I think we have many of you. Our generation will not suffer. Our generation, they are going to enjoy. And I'm really happy. I'm glad. My heart feels with a lot of joy when I listen to you speak, because at the end of the day, it is unity first before anything. So I'm happy. Congratulations once again, and please keep doing what you are doing. Nobody might see it today, but someday, our children, they are going to enjoy from what we are doing. Thank you again. Uh, Starting from your first question, and also I would like to congratulate you about the level of the patience you have. You are too patient to people, and I think that's what the leadership portrayed. Thank you.
Yeah.
For the first question, are all black people African? Sometimes I'm curious why people would take time to answer such question. I'm asking myself, is it too difficult to answer a question? What will you say? You are a mango in the midst of apple trees. Does that happen? It's difficult. You cannot be a seed of mangoes in the midst of apple trees. It is difficult for such thing to happen. So I will say yes. It's 100% yes. If you find it difficult to say yes, and then I think that's your opinion. But the reality is the reality, and the reality, the question is yes. Can love exist among hostilities? I have said no. No, because love is love, and when where love dwells, nothing dwells among love. If something else dwells among love, then that thing will not be genuine love. So my question is no, love cannot exist among hostility. Should we protest for Palestine? Uh, sir, I would say no because you can't follow your best friend for hunting when your house is on fire. It's difficult. You'll be a very foolish guy if you follow your best friend for hunting when your house is on fire. It do not work that way because when you come back from hunting, where are you going to lay your head? We have enough. We have too much on our hands to deal with and to deal with as we speak than to protesting for Palestine because they are also part of our problem. What they are suffering through, what they are going through, is nothing compared to what we have been going through for many, many years. So for us to think we should forget our problem and solve theirs, in which if you even solve their problem, they are not still going to help us recognize or help us solve our own problem in future. So to me, I say no, we should focus on problem and let them deal with theirs because even if we help them solve their problem, they are not going to help us solve our own problem. So let us allow them to deal with their shit while we deal with our own shit. That's what I stand for.
I heard that. And that's straight from the motherland, man. Listen, I think brother came up here and spoke his truth, man. Um you kind of lost people at the love is love part, but um I'm not sure. Do you think that someone can be pro-black with a white spouse?
I'm curious, and I smile from premolar to molar when I follow you ask this question some time ago in your show, and people were dancing around to answer such a question. The answer is no. First of all, you should be able to answer to answer this particular question. What is pro? When you talk about pro, what did that word mean? That's just that word. When you are pro on something, it means you are in that thing with every cell in your body, and you cannot be a pro black with a whitey. It's difficult, man.
Right.
It's-
So me bringing this up was because that's what we meant by can love exist amongst hostility. Um, Basically to say that because we're in a hostile environment, um, any action that we call love or anything we do out of love has to be questioned because we're in an environment where our survival is, our main objective. So is it love or is it Stockholm syndrome when we're in love with someone that is, part of the reason for our hostile environment or benefits from it.
I
So
think it's not. Can I?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's not love. I think for those that do that, I think it just maybe I can say they fight for survival, but it's not love. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for the rundown, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let me
Thank
go
you.
to the next guest. Africa Debunks. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, brother? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
One sec, let me put this on the charger because it's about to die. 1 second, and then we'll talk. All right. Can I run through your questions, brother legend?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right. Are all black people African? I think yes. The overwhelming evidence suggests that all black people are of African descent. The historical documents suggest that. The anthropological evidence suggests that. The DNA evidence suggests that. The medical evidence suggests that. There's a mountain of evidence that suggests that, like, the African diaspora or everyone who's black is of African descent. However, what one of the phrases I often hear repeated that is frustrating to high heaven is the is the idea of there's indigenous black people in every continent of this world of this earth. There's indigenous people all over this world that are black. That's, I'm sure, if you've heard like any Pretendian live, you've heard that
Mm-hmm.
that buzz line repeated. And I think it's important to not conflate us people who are of recent African stock with Afro-presenting Melanesians or Afro-presenting Asian people. There are black presenting people all over the world, but it's important to understand that a lot of those populations have lived in isolated parts of the world for tens of thousands of years and are genetically fundamentally different from us who are of very recent African stock. I think is whilst there, I think there's definitely like political alliances and political kind of mutual exchange to be had in terms of like all people who suffer from white supremacy, even those like from those populations, but they're just not of recent African stock, and they're not black people in the same way we are black people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can love exist amongst hostility? I don't. You know what? I think sometimes I know. I'm assuming you're alluding to the relationship between like black people and white people. Because as a broad term, like, can love exist amongst hostility? Yeah, I think it can because. But then when I think of hostility, I think like hostility, like you can be hostile to a family member and still love that family member. And I think hostility is kind of a very nice way. If we're describing the relationship between between black and white people historically, I would say like homicidals are probably a better word to describe the relationship. The relationship, hostile, maybe underplaying it a bit. Um, so fundamentally, I do think love can exist amongst hostility, but I don't think our relationship with the relationship between Europeans and Africans historically has been one of hostility. I think it's even more insidious than hostility, because hostility references anger, and I don't think it comes from a place of anger. I think it comes from something more sinister than that. And should we protest for Palestine? I think as black people on a human level, especially many of us are empaths, and a lot of us have our moral are deeply connected to our moral codes. And I think just like on a fundamental human level, what's going on in Palestine is reprehensible. I think carpet bombing civilians, no matter what color you are, is reprehensible. And I think like violent apartheid states are reprehensible, especially as African people, I think fundamentally we're against apartheid states. So I think definitely there's a lot of critique we can have for Israel and how Israel conducts itself. However, one of my biggest frustrations with black people is that a lot of us black people we have no sense of no sense of awareness. So I don't know how black people we can come from the communities that we come from and that we carry Black Palestine on our heads the way we do, because that doesn't happen it doesn't happen in reverse. So so the parallel I would make is both Palestinians and black people, we both come from communities that are in crisis. The difference is black people are riding out for Palestine. Do you see Palestinians riding out for black people? Do you see Palestinians riding out for Haitian causes? Do you see Arab people riding out for Haitian causes? Do you see them riding out for Congo?
you see them riding out for Northern Nigeria? Do you really see them riding out for Central African Republic? Like, I think it's an important parallel to make. And I think even as black people, like, I think my problem is a lot of black people who have never engaged with like black liberation, who have never engaged with community activism, who have never engaged in like in informing themselves about like what's happening to black people geopolitically, but have done all of these things for Palestine. That's one of my biggest frustrations. My frustration isn't with people engaging with Palestine on a human level, because on a human level, I think 99% of us can kind of identify something deeply wrong is going on in Palestine. But I think like the issue is that a lot of black people who have never engaged in political activism are now engaging in political activism for Palestine. Whereas you'll never see a Palestinian of adult age that reached their political maturity by engaging with black politics. You will never see like a grown Palestinian person and say, "Hey, yeah, man, my passion is just like I know what my people are going through, but like right now I'm focused on what black people are going through." You'll never see like you never see a Palestinian who's a full grown adult will have will have post after post after post about black liberation on their page, like and like completely forgetting their Palestinian liberation. Those people don't exist. But those people, we have thousands of people like that in our community, and I think I think my my position is this: if you're like protesting for Palestine on a human level, I hear it because it's a humanitarian crisis. But that better be the appendix of all. I better see all the black liberation stuff. That better be the last thing you hear after you've spoken out about Haiti, after you've spoken out about Sudan, after you've spoken about Nigeria, after you've spoken about Central African Republic, after you've spoken about Haiti. Then maybe then if you find time, you can appendix what's going on in Palestine. But like I don't understand how we can like be going through what we're going through and like people are prioritizing Palestine. And it's not to say what's going on in Palestine isn't messed up, but like, hey man, we both come from communities in crisis. Why don't you see Palestinians? Why don't you see like, hey man, why don't you see Palestinian lives pausing what they're doing and say, hey guys, hey, for the next hour, we're just going to speak about African issues. I know what we're going through is crazy, but you know, the Africans are hurting too. You've never heard that in your life, and you'll never hear that because other people are focused on are like, because yeah, there's a lot of Arabs that sympathize with what goes on with black people, but they're like, hey man, priorities. So like, hey man, I just expect like black people just to use a bit of common sense when engaging with other liberation struggles.
Yeah, that's true, man. Ain't nothing but the truth. Thank you for that. Lab Tech Quan, what's going on, brother?
Not much, bro.
Yo, I had to hit the mute button. Yeah. How you doing, champ?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Oh man, the pedestrian woes and highs and lows of life. You know how that go.
I heard that.
Just the regular struggles. But as usual, you put everything in the square. As always, that's why I come through, try to raise my spirits a little bit. But just to tap in on the frequency you set with these questions, are all black people African? Yes, of course. That's not, a debatable question. Now let me drop down on it. Like I put a comment in the chat where I said black with a capital B, which is what you put, right? And then there's black with a lowercase b. The discussion oftentimes comes about the phenotypic appearance of certain people that don't have white skin. And then by default, because they don't have white skin, the argument is made that they're black. But I think this is one of those situations where we have to, take the best part of all of our elders and ancestors and use it to form a way of understanding the world that is most effective towards problem solving. Um, black people, the dominant phenotype, black and brown, is the phenotype of the original people. So, the original people, as it were, there's also half original people. That's part of the equation. I mean, if we understand that, we know that the so-called colored man or white man is a minority on this planet. That's what the whole, when we delve deeper into Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's work with the ISIS papers, we understand that they're in a mode of genetic survival because they are the minority. So of course, sometimes the discussion, it leans into what the previous brother was saying about, Melanesians and people from different parts of the continent of Asia that have phenotypes similar, as far as, go as far as India or, different parts of East Asia. But, they're all derivative from the first, which is the black woman, the black man, the black child. They all come from us. But the white folks, they come from us too, but they're just a smaller portion. So, to be specific and understand the difference between the original, the grafted kind, meaning those that were extracted from us, and those that are half original, I think it's important that we implement that supreme wisdom because it makes things much more clearer. And the other part of that same thing, and I say this all the time, it's redundant, but when you say capital B with black, you're not just talking about phenotype, as you said earlier. We're talking about a cognitive framework. We're talking about a mindset. And that part is important more so than anything else. But you still need the phenotype to get through the door. So even that being said, yeah, I mean, if you're black with a capital B, yeah, hell yeah, you African. That's, without question. Can love exist amongst hostility? I mean, I wouldn't even think it was reasonable to suggest that. Love is the highest elevation. Love is supreme understanding. If you are in conflict with your opposition or your open enemy, you can't have a elevation with something that's degrading you. It doesn't work. It's a contradiction. So that in and of itself, just the understanding of what love is, it's not just an emotion or a feeling, it's a verb. And when we talk about hostility, the brother did, he kind of broke it down saying that it might not be strong enough a word, but just to take it for what it's worth. You can't jump up in the air and stay there. You can't serve two masters. Like there's, billion parables that make the same point. If you're conflicted internally, and you think you have love, you probably have Stockholm syndrome, or you probably have delusion, and that's not love. So, and I said this, I thought about this recently. I said, if a person has committed his life to the work of God / ancestors and future generations, as far as black people are concerned, you can't even have love and intimacy in a relationship with the opposite sex unless they're
Dang, I was about to ask you that because I was about to say Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. I was waiting because I only wanted to ask you that because I knew you would have some sort of answer for it.
yeah.
Because if we had this conversation with other people, it would go left. But Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. says between black men and black women, we can't even have love in a hostile environment where we're I guess the best because we always have to think of our survival first and foremost. That disqualifies it from being a love relationship and rather a partnership or a camaraderie uh, that we look for in a relationship. And I think that that's evident in the dating realm right now. You see a lot of women looking for men that can provide.
Mm-hmm.
That's because her survival comes first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can we survive together? And then it's do I like you? And that's black love. Is can we work together and despite oppression? And then it's we have things in common. Whatever it is that
Yeah,
you
she liked my
yeah
eyes. She,
yeah.
all that. See, and I've been thinking about that more and more as a father. And it's slim pickings out here, for future generations because this psychological conditioning of young black females specifically that are in higher education is leaning towards a sexual revolution, which is just an insidious plan to further damage the black nuclear family more so than anyone else.
Right.
So I say that the objective of a relationship, she has to love your purpose, your divine purpose. She has to love that about you. She can't tolerate that, or he can't tolerate that. That has to be mutually understood. You have a purpose for God/ancestors and future generations, and that's the glue of the family. That's the glue of the relationship. That's the glue of attraction. If it's not, there's something wrong. So that being said, not to, I took the long way around, but it's like, nah, you can't have love in any form of hostility or opposition in that context. It's just impossible. It doesn't exist. You can have an infatuation, you can have lust, you can have delusion, you can have Stockholm syndrome, you can have a lot of things, but you can't have true love in the regards
Right.
of what it really is.
And true friendship as
Right.
well.
You
Yeah.
can't. It's just one of those things, So, and otherwise, it's almost like the it's like the lion and the lamb. We say that's the ideal scenario, but lions eat lambs by nature. It's not their nature not to eat a lamb. Like if they see a lamb, they're gonna eat that thing, no matter how long they can coexist. You see people raising fucking panthers with their dogs and their kids. Typically grafted folks do that, but I'm just saying, eventually, that panther's nature is to say, nah. You fool. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter, I don't care if you had him as a kitten and it's so cute. Nah, the nature of this equation is eventually you gonna be dinner. So don't play with it. So,
Right.
last one, should we protest for Palestine? That's a crazy question. And I paused to answer it because I don't want to waste the time that I've been given here. It's let me start from this perspective. The reason these things become topics of discussion for the 85% or for the masses is because they've been introduced through mass media in some format. This issue of
Right.
Palestine's been going on for like 60, damn near 70 years. And these most recent events were publicized and they became the hottest topic of discussion. I'll show you my angle why I look at it the way I do. I had been tracking Niger, Burkina Faso, Senegal, where else? It was
South Africa.
Mali, right? I've been tracking these countries that have divested and kicked out the French and
Oh,
moving
okay.
towards getting out of
Oh,
ECOWAS.
Chad.
Chad, thank you. Right? So you have these nations that were formerly colonized by the French specifically, and the French are, they're hanging on the most in terms of their version of colonialism more than anyone else. But these nations have bound together. They've rejected ECOWAS. I've been following that all year in 2023. And then suddenly in October, it became more and more difficult to keep up with that story. So now, as previous brothers have mentioned, now everyone is Palestine, Palestine. And as as it's already been said, we have empathy and sympathy for the human family. We don't look at suffering as a positive thing. We're not animals, we're not savages. But the brother that said it earlier, I love the way he put it. He was like, you can't go hunt with your friend while your house is on fire, because what you gonna come home to? What are you coming home to? They, after the hunt, they gonna eat good at their home. You left your responsibilities to focus on someone else's, and that is foolishness, right? So protest in and of itself, I'm sure someone will argue, well, protest could be just what you say or think, but I'm typically thinking about people walking around in circles outside. I don't believe in marching and demonstrations. I don't believe in that. So I wouldn't say that was a solution for black folks, let alone doing it for some other folks halfway around the world. I think it's absurd. But I know why so many people are preoccupied. It's because they don't love themselves, and given an opportunity to project themselves through someone else's suffering, they can forget the legacy of their own ancestors, right?
Damn.
It's an easy out. It makes it simple to say, oh, well, and this is just that, this delusion of the seasoning process. And you know, I'll give you one little anecdotal thing, and I'm gonna chill for a sec. But I know a female, right? And she has the greatest empathy for Palestinians, like goes crazy, be posting literally every day about Palestinians, right? She even went to Palestine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black girl, right? And I thought about it and I said, damn, you care more about these strangers than you do human beings that would fight and lay down their lives for you. Like the people, like black folks that are right there, she don't give a fuck. She has none of that empathy is demonstrated in practical terms to people
Right.
that she sees daily, people that love her and care about her that aren't in her immediate family. And I think about that because I'm like, is it the narcissism of social media that if you somehow have a cause that makes you a better person? Is that part of it? You dig? So nah, man, I'm not protesting for nobody, man. Like that, you have too much work to do. There's some black kids somewhere in your community that need mentors, that need tutors, that need resources. Go ahead and protest by giving your time to them, or raise your own kids. You know, whatever. Like keep it simple. Like if you may not need to leave the house. Go get your
That's a
kid
fact.
and sit down and build with them. Like God bless those people. Just out of humanity, but I wasn't protesting for Bosnia and Serbia, and they was in a genocide too. We don't talk about that, right? I mean, I don't care particularly about the political stuff, but God bless their lives, the ones that were harmed in the genocide. But that's not my cause. I have to focus on what I was sent to do. So that's my perspective on that.
Hey man, that's big facts. That's real, man. When you said what I was sent here to do, that's the more I uncover Afrocentrism and read more and more books, and just I'm taking my time. Like I've got basically the um, beginner's understanding. If we're going to use John Henry Clark as like uh, the what we all should aim to achieve as far as Pan African knowledge, right? We should aim for John Henry Clark in my mind. Um, Maybe Shake and the Jip, but yeah, one of them. If we're gonna go up there, I'm like but a drop in an ocean of knowledge. And as I'm learning more, man, I'm starting to feel like it's you do start to feel like it is something that transcends even yourself and your own personal mission, but then it turns into like, think of all the ancestors that would be proud of the work that you're doing, and it starts to feel like, yeah, like you were sent here to do that because you were sent here through a black woman. So it's kind of wild. um I'm gonna go to the next guest. Kron, what's going on, brother?
What's up, bro?
What's going on? Go ahead, talk to us.
To be honest, bro, for us to even have to be asking these questions, it shows the ignorance, the straight lack of knowledge of self. Cause in these times, just asking some simple questions like these here in these TikTok street, you get some answer. You have to laugh. You wanna even cry some of the time, cause you could see directly. It's like you know the person and the person don't know themselves. So that's a level of confusion. You know what I mean? Because with the connection to the continent, the melanin and everything, it's identifiable. You know what I mean? So even when they don't wanna identify themselves with it, it's like engraved. You know what I mean? Ingrained. You know what I mean? So it's just confusion. So when we getting a chance to be able to doing these live and getting a chance to look in people's brain and see how they're thinking and all of that, it's good because it gives us even more encouragement to continue doing what we're doing and shows that we're on the right path. You know what I mean? So we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. So without a doubt, yes, black people are African, but a lot of people don't want to be. They don't know that they are. You know what I mean? For the second question, can love exist among hostility? Well, I think while you're in that hostility, you'll be in a survival mode in a sense. So we as black people will fight to try to be loving as much as we can, because it's in our, it's the intelligence of us. We try to do the right thing as much as we can. But you know, in that survival mode, it will be a struggle, you know, because you're gonna have to put the survival before everything. So that can let the whole environment be different and tense. So I don't think it would be possible to the fullest. You know what I mean? For the third question though, should we protest for Palestine? If they are protesting for us, you know what I mean? If it's one and washing the other, that could work. It would be good like that. But if not, we have too much of problem for ourselves. We have a lot of problem to deal with. So we got to pay attention to what we got to pay attention to, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
my little one.
All right, man. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, yo, everybody, don't forget to follow Brother Kron up here. He be hosting lives. Lab Tech, I seen you up here a few times. Kron is the other TikTok live that I really be on, because he's built a Pan-African safe space for us in there. So he having some good discussions too. So everybody, please follow Brother Kron. Right. And I'm gonna go to the next guest, Samike. Samik,
Yeah,
hey, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
yeah. I'm AK. I'm 32. Um, Pronouns?
Uh,
You mean male, right?
you said you're AK, so you're African.
Yeah, I'm from African. I'm Nigerian.
Okay, and so okay, I'm gonna just assume you're a black man.
Yeah,
Okay, all
definitely.
right.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you don't have to answer the pronouns question. Go ahead, brother. Talk to us.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to make this answer as succinct as possible, because I'm not the best orator. From the very first point, first question, are all black people African? Um, the answer is simple. In the words of Peter Dutch, in that very beautiful song rendition, he said, as far as your, no matter your nationality, no matter your location, as far as you're a black man, you're an African. So it's like
Who said
a
that?
song. So as far as you're no matter your nationality, no matter your location, as far as you're a black man, you're an African.
Yes, but who said that? Where's that
Peter
from?
Touch. Peter Touch. Peter Touch.
Okay. I'm like, that sound familiar. I didn't remember, but yeah, Peter Tosh is the man. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that was like that was beautifully that's a very beautiful answer to your question, you know. And just to kind of like add something further, there is this theory about melanated people around the world, or like say black people found around in different continents, as like aboriginals. I was doing a research some years ago, and I was looking at the Andamis. If you check the Andamis Islands, in India, in India, in the country of India, they have like a minority of uncontacted people, but now I guess they are contacted, so they are off the island, an island in India. So it's now like a tourist kind of like attraction, because these guys are black, and dark. And you know what I discovered? That one of the biggest group there are called Jarawa. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but it's too much of a coincidence that if you check the Jarawa people in Andamis, there's also a group in Nigeria called Jarawa. So I was looking at this, like this is really interesting that miles away, black people found in India have exact the same name with the people found in Nigeria. Like how, like it was just too much of a coincidence. And they kind of like take pride in having like a headband wrapped around their head, a certain type of strip wrapped around their head. And this was exactly how the other guys in Nigeria dress, with a strip around their head. So I was
Wow.
like wondering, like, yeah, I was shocked from this because I was watching this documentary on Indian Andamese people, and I was shocked that this is the same thing. You could actually check it up right now, Jarawa people, and the Jarawa people in Nigeria are like they're like one of the few Bantu groups in Nigeria. So I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, wow, this is
Wow.
really interesting for me. Yeah.
Wow.
So it kept me wondering, like, what are the pieces of information we're missing out there? And yeah, so this was just one off from the research that I, met from by chance. And yeah, that's just for that. Then you said, can love exist among hostility? In this case, I would think it's a matter of the parties involved. Like there could be a hostility in the family, and this hostility could stem out of love, maybe love. For instance, you have a parent who wants a child to go a particular direction. There could be hostility between the two if they don't agree about the direction, for instance. And another example in this, the reason why I mentioned that it could be the parties involved, this is a classic example, in the ancient times when tribes or ethnic groups go into like maybe battle, clash with others, another ethnic group. Do you know that the men like try to take the women from the other group, even though they actually hate or want to see to the end of that,
Yeah.
particular opposition, but they still take their women. So you now feel like, why do you like something? Why do you want to take something you actually hate? Or why do you want to procreate from the people you actually hate? That means you would see your kids in, it's like the continuation of that lineage.
Right.
Then you now come to think about it. Is it like an issue of domination, or is it an issue of how do I put it? Fetishizing, like a fetish, or is
Yeah.
it like jealousy that you want to see that to the end of a group so that you could, assume, or your children would assume that's that new form, you know so I feel like in that case, or sometimes it might be out of jealousy. I just want to see to the end of this lineage so that I can continue with this particular, so that I can take that DNA, so that I can take this, from this women and continue my own lineage. So thinking about it in that way, and could also be in the case of inter interracial relationships. Sometimes I feel that is how it's, psychologically, that is how it works sometimes, in terms of, I feel that this is kind of like superior and I want this in order to continue my lineage. So, somehow I feel that's how it is, and should we protest for Palestine? And this is one problem I have with, will I say, black people. We always feel, and I guess it's not our fault, but we always feel ourselves less. We tend to feel that the life of others, for some reason, is more important than us. It could be it could be because of what the media put out there. It could be because of, I don't know, years of colonization. We feel that, what is outside there is greater than what is we have in ourselves. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria, for example, there was a time when France had like an attack, and everyone was using this French flag, "Pray for France." You know, do you know the same week we had like an attack also in like something similar in Nigeria, and they didn't even talk about it. People weren't even talking about it. The president was sending, they're sending, well, I say messages, of condolences and messages of hope to France. Whereas within Nigeria, there was something even greater, like something even more tragic happening. So sometimes we feel ourselves less, we feel as we're not as important, or we feel we're not as valuable. We don't put value to our life, and that is why we would consider, like, for instance, protesting for Palestine, more important than all the whole issues we have within our community. And we don't project this problem as seriously as, like, if we could learn from these people, actually, if we, like, the only reason why we would protest for Palestine is to learn how to actually project our problems out to the world in order to solve it. That's just the way I'll put it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming up, brother. Appreciate that. Y'all, I'm about to eat. It's about that time. We got one more person up here. I'm gonna let him go. Saeed, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
23, black, yeah, he, him.
All right, talk to us.
Are all black people African? I mean, technically no, but we identify black with Africa. And I just mean that for, like, no for Australians, Melanesians, people who, typically present as black, but they're not necessarily African. Uh, can love exist amongst hostility? Yes. We wouldn't be here. Should we protest for Palestine? My enemy is my friend. So I believe, yeah.
What did you just say? Say that again.
Well, for the last one,
Yes.
I said the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Hey, so can I ask you a question off of that?
Mm-hmm.
So if you see a lion and a tiger fighting, right? You assume one of them is your friend?
If I see a lion and a tiger fighting,
Yeah.
do
Let's
I
say
have?
you
All right,
at a zoo, just whatever scenario you need to create, but you see two
hold
predators
on.
fighting. Do you assume one of them is your friend because you know one of them has to be because they're enemies and they're your enemy too?
No. So if I'd have to consider either the lion or the tiger one of my allies.
So why not just say you, your own ally, you need to get the hell away from both?
Like I said, that's me considering that prior before that, so I wouldn't be in a hypothetical situation like that.
Well, to take it out of the hypothetical is to say that your enemy is your enemy. Your friend is your friend. The logic of that's a Machiavellian way of looking at the world, and it doesn't work. Machiavellian ways of thinking don't work for black folks. So the idea is to say that your friend is your friend, your enemy is your enemy. Your enemy's enemy is your enemy's enemy. There's no connection, there's no correlation. This is how we saw Europe, right? France, Great Britain, Belgium, Germany, all of these people were fighting. Europe went through 100 years war and a 30 years war, killing each other. But when it was time to have that Berlin conference, they sat down together and cut up the continent. And there was no logic of my enemy's enemy because they were all enemies. But they understood what it really mattered in the end result, which was the exploitation of those that didn't look like them. So I think that's sometimes what happens with black folks, especially during the Cold War, assuming that if you either go red or blue, if you either go with America or Russia, somehow you'll end up. But when all the dust settled, Africa's still in neo-colonialism. Black folks are still exploited globally. So I think that's a flawed way of understanding the world.
I hear you.
So you believe
Well,
in
that
the
was quite a word. Wait, hold on. He gotta get some points for that, man.
you did.
Go ahead, D.
Send him some gifts. So you feel like in the midst of your oppression, you can be in love?
Yeah.
I can't. Rather let you know I got the energy.
All right. That was short. Okay, y'all. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for coming up. Don't forget our Sunday meeting, 3 p.m. Eastern time in the Discord. B1initiative.org. Want to learn more? Appreciate Lab Tech, D, Africa Debunk. I forgot his name. Samike and Saeed for coming up. Appreciate you. Shout out to
No
Alicia,
problem.
still in the comments. Big Max for Big Max is wild. That was not your name. T-Up is funny with that name. Purple Queen, Scoops 5, Brother Timothy, Sajess, Black Swan. Appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on Sunday, and I might come back up here tomorrow. I gotta see. Jess wants to go skating, so we gonna see about that. I don't know why she trying to put me in rollerblades. I'm not doing it. Anyway, all right, y'all. One love, peace and power till we meet again. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.